Honestly, and this is just the feeling I'm having right now, I think BadBoy wins this 4-3. I think this goes to 7 games. I think Vivi has been... The Fat Dragon is such a legend. He actually changed his name back to Fat Dragon. Let's go. He's such a legend. In previous Hidden Cups, after losing to Viper, he famously said in all caps, "You know me?" Question mark, question mark. He's not really a legend for doing well in Hidden Cups, but he's a legend for being somewhat guessable in Hidden Cups and being a funny, crazy guy. If you could make it back in, it'd be huge for him. But BadBoy, who's over here in the red, I think BadBoy's here to maybe show Vivi that he's got to step it up these days. And BadBoy, of course, reverse sweeping to even get here in an insane set. So he shows that he's not going to give up. And here comes BadBoy, and he actually eats some shots from the TC. Again, we're pretty far behind here. My bad on that. It looks like Fat Dragon's gone for Huns game 1. BadBoy's gone for Franks. I have to say, a little surprised to see Huns game 1 and Vivi now also hitting the TC. So maybe some game 1 jitters. There's so many memes with Vivi. It's like, you can't okay. I know pig. I know pig emote we have and will need to be used for Hidden Cup. It's just the guy's a legend. The guy's the legend of the game. But like he was really strong when it was Arabia, and I'd say 2018. That's when the forward meta was common, and he was tower rushing people. There's a couple videos on YouTube where it's like we asked Vivi to tower rush the Viper. Literally messaged Vivi before he went into a game against Viper and said, "Can you tower rush him?" And he said okay, and then he tower rushed Viper and beat him. Like. That was Vivi. Nowadays, a little weaker and a little rougher around the edges. So let's see. I imagine it's going to be scouts here. And it should be scouts for both of them. So nothing too crazy. Looking at the maps as well. It doesn't seem too crazy. I like the wall potential for BadBoy back in this corner. But, I mean, look at the golds over here. The stones, the berries. All that would be walled out. So both players have taken some losses on their scouts. BadBoy is taking more of a loss, and BadBoy has to get out of here. 25 HP against... Oh, what the... Oh, they both actually... Well, now they don't. Now it's 20 HP versus 25 HP. I think that was deceiving because the HP bar is a little different for Franks. Or it's like a little... There's more space, I guess, for 54 HP than... I don't know. Anyways, this is an important moment to check. And it's now 6 HP versus 12 HP. Okay. Zaru says, "Hello, T90. I've come from YouTube to support Hidden Cup. Can't wait for the main event." Well, welcome, Zaru. Glad I could catch your message. Look at Fat Dragon. What are these walls? Fat Dragon loves his walls. Crazy walls. Can't say they're beautiful walls, but he's doing it. And, yeah, I think this is, honestly, in a scout battle, especially against the Franks, probably a pretty smart play. Just get some spearmen and scouts out to protect your walls and eventually... try and push forward. Right. It's actually one of the rare moments we're seeing scout v scout, and oh my god, what an awful start here for Fat Dragon. Then, I mean, he did kill that one scout, but the forward spearman really did hurt him there. That said, it does feel as though Vivi's experienced enough in these positions to get the walls down, but you see what I mean about being rough around the edges? I mean, if Vivi, again, if he mixed into Hidden Cup, I think some of these things are going to be pretty big tells with him. It's just the sloppiness from time to time, picking Spanish on the draft. And believe me, he will go YOLO during this set. He is known for his YOLO plays, and that YOLO-ness is like pretty much unique to Vivi or Lix if Lix were to make it in, and Lix has to beat Nikov later. And don't think the Fudiko is even going to be... Oh, man, that was a close one. Don't think the Fudiko is even going to be all that solid for the Fat Dragon, because he's had to pull so many villagers to wall up. And he had to pull off of berries as well. So BadBoy, probably pretty happy to just go for the small walls. And BadBoy with the farm bonus with Franks. I mean, his eco is probably going to be stronger now. You got forge bonus and farm bonus. Very close moment there. Nikov Lix is going to be so fun. So... let's do a little poll of chat, shall we? Now, don't type numbers before I finish this chat, okay? I know what you're known for. Type a 1 if you think that Nikov could possibly get tilted You know what? Okay, type of 15 if you think that Nikov could possibly get tilted in the set against Licks. But type of 20 if you think that, while that might be the case, Nikov is the better player and he's going to win. I think there's going to be a lot of 15s and 20s in chat. And having MBL co-cast as well, to give his perspective, I think will be a great time. Look at the resources right now, guys. This is ridiculous. So much food for BadBoy. And here comes Vivi at the 15th minute with a counterattack with 4 scouts, one of which is weak, and 2 spearmen. I mean, at this point, it's actually quite important to be able to wall around your, or not wall, but farm around your mill for efficiency. So it wouldn't be a bad area to hit. And I think it's so late. It's almost like this is so weird that it works, you know? If he would have showed up earlier, BadBoy probably would have prepped for it. And look at that. Fat Dragon getting the first and only villager kill in the game. And hey, you can't argue with those results. And no way, BadBoy! BadBoy with the quick gate, though. And actually, that was a 6 save. That was a 6 save. But 2 scouts are still going to get in. And I would say this is avoidable damage. All right, it's been a messy, scrappy game number 1. BadBoy, though, was able to save some of these vills, which is good. It's just going to be annoying now because Vivi said, all right, this is why I full wall. Because walling to the TC doesn't work anymore. Smart move from the dragon. And there's actually a weak villager right there. What on earth, BadBoy? Don't send... I really feel like both players are going to have to step it up a little bit throughout this best of 7. This is going to be a sloppy one if it continues like this. But now, I might even prefer Vivi's position. You get 2 villager kills. I mean, yes, it was almost like Barl's Heart game 1 yesterday. Where Barl's was walling a lot and Heart was being aggressive. But you get those walls down, and then you don't have to worry about anything. And here, you get units through as well, and then you can harass. Anyways, BadBoy's got 2 full HP scouts. He'll chase this down. I think maybe Vivi will try and go in for another Vill, but it's unlikely. Both players on the way to Castle Age. Very much looks like Fat Dragon's going to switch into Cav Archers. Yeah, there's a second range. I don't even know if this Archer will be shown. He has a gate on this side. Sometimes you don't want to show the Archer. That way they don't know. At this point, you want BadBoy to think that you could be going for 5 to 10 Archers. Like, that you could have them already. If you show an Archer without fletching, then he's going to know, okay, and he's just shown the Archer without fletching. But he's going to assume you don't have numbers, and he's going to assume that you're going to have Archers in the next stage. All right, so which position would you prefer here, chat? I mean, Franks still feel very smooth. I think Franks are the superior Civ in our current meta. But overall, I think the way to go here would or the position to feel comfortable with would probably be the fully walled player. Fully walled player, and then having a solid Castle Age time to be able to go Cav Archers is really strong. Hey, Knights can be strong to take out Palisade walls, but of course, you know, Vivi's probably just going to wall behind. It is a little awkward with Huns, though. You can't house wall behind. The thing about Vivi is he's either really passive or really aggressive, so he started off really passive. Got some reward for that. Now is going to be very aggressive. Oh, wait. Your kit... Honestly, as a caster, this stuff annoys me. Like, best of 7 decider, BadBoy and Fat Dragon, big moment, make it into Hidden Cup 4, and then, like, what? BadBoy actually broke through there. And now BadBoy, I prefer BadBoy's position. He's going to get 2 villager kills because of this. And still has the faster Castle Age. And wow, what a great move from BadBoy. Look at the micro there, too. Honestly, it wouldn't be too crazy to get another Vill pick. Because his scout has armor. The Spearman's going to get some hits, too. I mean, it's unlikely, but it's possible. And let's see. No, it's not going to happen, but very close. All right, now the Cav Archers are out for the Fat Dragon. We've seen a lot of players go for Scorpion Knight against Cav Archers. We've seen Cav Archers from Tatars and Huns a lot. And I think that's probably your best play. Just switching into Skirmishers is really tough and time-consuming. Plus, they're really slow. Knights at this stage are probably going to be the superior unit, but if Cav Archers get to something like, I'd say 25-30 with upgrades and they can hit and run, it's really tough. Hun Cav Archers are so cheap, and we have 3 ranges for Fat Dragon, so he's not going to focus so much on the booming. He's just going to focus on getting military out. Whereas for BadBoy, and this is the thing that's dangerous about BadBoy, having played him, he's able to put on immense pressure and also boom really well. And so he's going to have this TC in the back working for him. Just keep an eye on the vill count. Both players have lost 2 villagers. That's evened it out. And here at home, he's got some scorpions. Now, I'm a little surprised he's added monks already, because that's another building he's had to build. But certainly don't hate it. And we'll see what he has the resources for, because right now he's just got scale barding. He feels like this is his time, and Vivi. This is why I said BadBoy could easily win this set today. Vivi is known for being a strong player, but that is sloppy. This is the type of play that if you make it into Hidden Cup 4 anyways, you're just going to get completely destroyed with the level of talent that's there. And so, Vivi, he needed to mass his Cav Archers, and now look what you've got from BadBoy. BadBoy's going to split up to the right side, go after villagers, and get some more villagers. He's going to go to the wood line, and honestly, this might be game over pretty soon if Vivi doesn't deal with this. It just does not look like Vivi has come to play today. It could be nerfs, but it also could just be a lack of practice. I'm really not sure, but BadBoy's making this look so easy right now. Look at those vill kills. Beautiful vill kills. I love how he split up the knights after breaking through. Now you're going to see a TC for Vivi. He's like, I need more villagers. But the enemy is already on 2 TCs. Now, the Cav Archers ran right through the TC. This might be a theme with Vivi. He just loves to run right through the TC. Good thing the Scorpions are here. Scorpions should be enough to defend with a few repairs here. I'll keep you updated. But the Knights still sniping villagers underneath the town center. It's 34 villagers for Vivi. And BadBoy just won't stop moving around right now. I'll put it to you this way, chat. Again, it's been a rusty start in some ways for both, but mainly for the Fat Dragon to start it all off. The level is so high that this game should be over because of that. It should be over. Hun's probably the one civilization that could bring it back if they keep their Cav Archer numbers alive. Look at this, man. He's going in for another villager, running away. Going in for another villager. Yep, going in for another villager, not garrison, running away. All the while, he could actually break down this gate and get out of here and then bring his scorpions in. Over here. Look at the micro from BadBoy. You see how he's saving that knight? He's saving the weak knight so he can heal it up. These are the small details you need to play at the high level. Good eco, good pressure. Saving your knights, defending with scorpions is very clean. I like it. 49 villagers versus 37. It is doable for Vivi, but it is less than ideal. Now we're seeing here is he's going to micro down some of these knights that, yeah, he's got potential with these numbers. The downside there for BadBoy is he basically sacrificed a lot of military to kill vills. And it's worth it as long as he can get more military to deal with military for Fat Dragon. Whereas occasionally you're going to want to kill villagers if you can save your military. It does depend on the situation, but I really like what he did there. Okay. So let's see what happens here. BadBoy, 2 TCs, healing up these knights, liking that. Does have chain barding armor. I didn't think he'd be able to afford that after going to the TC so early, but he's able to pull that off, which is a very important upgrade here. That combined with the 3 monks, and this is satisfying to see players healing up knights. It doesn't happen all that frequently sometimes. Yeah, also mixing in some scorpions. BadBoy pretty open on the sides, remember. And Huns are a great all-in flood civilization, so if you got those forward golds and stones, Fat Dragon could push that. I think long-term, like, this base is very deceiving, because long-term, you're in big trouble if you don't expand. And look at Vivi. Okay, box formation Cav Archers. Here he comes. Hits the wood line. Does kill 1 villager. Thinking about breaking in here. And now sees the knights, and will need to run away. And there's also a monk there to convert that knight. That should probably be deleted. Unless he's going to get away. Oh, that's... Okay. 3rd time he's run underneath the town center. Okay, he's just going to chill out here. He's actually going to take out the scorpion with that. And yeah, Fat Dragon running away. Scorpions, though. I mean, there's 2 scorpions, there's 2 monks, and there's a bunch of knights. Oh, God! And the other scorpions were in the middle of the map. This is a perfect play from BadBoy. Knight Scorpion is the way to deal with Cav Archers. That said, 48 villagers versus 58. There's been some idle TC time for both this game. And to put things in perspective, I think Game 1 Arabia yesterday between Hart and Barles, both players had under 30 seconds of TC idle time. Just to put things, the level in perspective, and to point out why I say this has been a little rusty. Whoa, BadBoy with 3 relics already. That's pretty sick. Look at BadBoy's scouting, too. He's got monks over here. The other relic's not too far away. And now this is the problem with cav archers. If you don't have that mass, it's 32 military versus 26 right now. It almost feels like BadBoy has used a cheat code, right? It's like he's cheesesteak Jimmy did to get food. How is he able to afford a more expensive unit? It's all because of that economy. Here he loses a knight, which is unfortunate, but we'll take out that stable. And here comes the Fat Dragon. Now Fat Dragon knows that he has no defense at home. He also knows the enemy won't have defense at home. He also mind recognizes he's behind. We've seen him dive before. I'm not sure if this is good or bad for Vivi, but it is an interesting way of dealing with pressure at home, is just go to their base. And he's through now. Huh. Well, if you look at what's happening, some of the knights are coming back. Scorpions are coming back. Let's see if he can get reward for this. He's going to kill a few villagers. He's only behind by 5. And oh my god, there's a wood line here. What a crazy play from Vivi. Like, this is the type of player who does things that's just not what other high-level players do frequently. And he's still at the top because occasionally it works. But now the worry is he's killed a few villagers. He might lose all of his cav archers. And then at the same time, he's got scorpions raiding his gold and his farms at his base. And he actually has no defense for scorpions right now. Like, if BadBoy converts the knights that are coming out, then the scorpions are just going to kill all the cav archers. These knights have gone back to the wood line. These units here, oh boy. Oh, this is great for BadBoy. Scorpion getting some great hits. The knights are all right in front still. And this, in this particular moment, it might have looked messy like I had been saying this game, but honestly, it's just because so much is going on and they've got so much economy to focus on. BadBoy is going to take game number 1 at this rate. As Vivi loses everything, he's still got to deal with this in the front. And look at BadBoy again. Always there to get the conversion. That's the second night that the Fat Dragon has had to delete, because he knows those conversions are coming in. And look, the repair villagers on the Scorpions. This is after the healing. This is after getting 4 relics. This is after going 3 TCs. The idle time's been crazy, but pretty clear to me. BadBoy came to play, ladies and gents. I don't think light cav is really affordable. Someone's suggesting light cav. How are you going to afford light cav? The eco's not there. You've got 3 TCs, about 6 or 7 farms to keep villagers producing out of each TC, 21 on food. Light cav upgrades, what, 150 food, 50 gold? It's not about what units exist. It's about what units feel realistic with your economy. Make them and then research light cav doesn't feel realistic. Not to me anyways, and he's investing into these cav archers. And Vivi gonna just counterattack again. He's a very bold dragon. And last he checked, there was a hole here, I think. So he's gonna try and, like, go through there. The big thing for BadBoy here is that he makes sure that he has enough stone to build castles. I think there definitely is a point where Huns should switch into, like, knights against a lot of scorpions like this. It's just, unfortunately, if the monks are there, that's not going to work out. And I don't know what BadBoy's villagers just... Did he convert? Were those hit? I don't know what's happening. This is too crazy. The cav archers are over here. He's so focused. He's just lost the villagers on the front. And Vivi is now into the wood line. And now, you see, the siege in the front is going down. Does Vivi actually have a chance here? BadBoy sending the scorpions back. He's sending the knights back. Vivi at 66 villagers, 71 for BadBoy. And yeah, now you've got to run away again. Okay, if you can get your eco to a solid enough spot, light cav archer kind of feels right. And that would be in about, I say, a few minutes. Now, as this goes on, Huns have a real problem against Franks. They don't have a great way to stop Paladin. They do have Halberdier, but Halberdier is pretty weak for them. I like the forward workshop for BadBoy. It's in a position where he can get some hits and surprise the enemy. Here he is with his monks. And he's not actually going for conversions just yet. Probably very focused. But the Maganel could pop out here. This could be a moment. Oh, that was a good attack round. And another? Oh, unfortunately, he was a little bit ahead of what was happening there. But he's got another Mangonel. And with this one, he's going to fire. And also miss. And Vivi with the call. Good moves. Good play now. I think the players are warming up. He pulled his monks over to convert the knights. He also used his knights to take out the siege. Yeah, players really do seem to be feeling it a bit more now. BadBoy has the lead. So many scorpions. My goodness. And Vivi, I just jinxed him. Forgot to patrol his cav archers. Probably was not expecting to see this amount of knights. He'll go for conversions, but probably lose those monks. He really needs to use those knights against the scorpions right now, because if he does not, the castle's going to go up. And it is in such a bold position for BadBoy. Cav archers, they have to run away, but there's also a chance. There's a slight chance that if Vivi micros this well enough, he can maybe take out the scorpions and deny that castle. I mean, it's not like there's many knights here right now. What on earth is happening, man? This castle could throw the game for BadBoy. It's so messy. You've got knights, you've got monks, you've got cav archers. He sent so many villagers here. 85% on the castle. You're kidding me. It's a Dowd castle to start off the decider. Are you kidding me? And guys, look at the military. Vivi held on. 32 villagers have been killed by both in this game. That's a ridiculous stat. Economically, it's the same vill count, but the military count now. Vivi with his conversions, switching into his own knights. And BadBoy, he just needed a bit more patience, I feel. It's not like this game is over for him. He's got crazy amount on food. But now the Huns are in that position where they can just flood the map all in castle age with cav archers and knights. I'm really happy with how the game started and what it switched into. It's been pretty aggressive, right? Even though there was some passive play at the start, it's been pretty aggressive. And on top of that, like, both players were a little sloppy, but they've just been spamming out military. Their pressure is normally immense, which is what makes them get to this level. 4th town center now for Vivi as well. Both people wanting to stay in Castle Age for a bit. And the big thing there for Vivi was getting conversions on those knights and to have his own knights in the mix to take out the scorpions. A big moment. And BadBoy, just a few moments where he couldn't control his monks, but monks are very difficult to control, especially offensively, and especially when you're getting raided with random groups of cav archers. And it's easy for us to say that was too bold, but I guess fortunately it's a cheap Frank castle. And okay, there's the garrison for BadBoy. Vivi sees the scorpions. And Vivi's just going to run out of here. Does have 5 monks. 5 conversions would be a pretty big deal here. Also, he did just get thumb rings, so his cav archers are stronger. And now you see Sanctity for the monks. I can't believe he had that many monks out there without Sanctity.
Hi.
Though, to be honest, the monks for BadBoy also didn't have it. That's a HP upgrade, so monks just feels like they die so easily. What the? What? I imagine that was a misclick. My guess is he had his cav archers on control group 1, and he had his knights on control group 2, and he tried to click his knights forward, but he probably clicked the wrong group. So he probably just clicked the wrong group forward there. Fortunately for him, he's got the monks. And he's got the knights. And here, it's easy enough to take out the scorpions. And I think it's worth it to lose a few knights to take out the scorpions, because then your cav archers and monks can survive. And that's what we're seeing here. The BadBoy, though, close to clicking up to the Imperial Age, loses all the siege. Is not loving the fact that he's completely swarmed by the Huns right now, I'm sure. And Vivi's diving underneath the town center. Well, you know what? It's a good play. It's honestly a good play. It's not like the TCs have Bodkin Arrow or Fletching or anything like that. He's not losing many cav archers. And the big thing for him is he's taking out the knight numbers. And now he's going to find the gold. BadBoy's on the way to Imperial Age. BadBoy does not have control. Imagine what a defensive castle would have done. He's being pressured so much. Did he need the offensive castle? A defensive castle to protect himself as he was going to the Imperial Age would have been huge here. And Vivi, I have to say, he's gotten to this spot. 114 villagers, 42 military. And when he's in control, he usually does not make mistakes. Solid micro from him, the power of cav archers. And these knights, you just don't want to engage with them, right? You want to upgrade these things. So many of them are weak. And if you don't engage with them, then Vivi's going to make you pay the price. What a crazy game, honestly. Like, I really don't know what to think about the series. I really do not know what to think about the series. Which is why I said I think it goes 4-3 for BadBoy. Like, a lot of people saying 4-2, I think that's fair. But, my goodness, man. BadBoy could have easily been in a better position in this game. Vivi could have easily been in a much worse position in this game. As Vivi comes forward to drop a castle, and you're kidding me. It's not going to happen twice, right? His army split off from this. You're kidding me. Is it Vivi's turn to get a castle denied? Apparently it is. You are freaking kidding me, man. What in the world is happening here in this game? Oh my god. So this castle is denied at 70%. The other castle was denied and taken out at 80%. And I suppose I still like Vivi's position. He's killed so many villagers. 61 vill kills versus 42. Over 100 villagers have died in 48 minutes. My word. But yeah, BadBoy added this TC just to save his woodline. BadBoy will be an imp with Cavalier. And if Vivi isn't totally careful with his units... You never know, man. Like, especially because Vivi's base is pretty open right now. I don't know if you should really stonewall or anything. That's a lot of work. You probably need... Wait. Okay, instead of stonewalls at home, when the enemy's imping and you're thinking about it, what do you need, chat? What do you need if you're worried about raids? A defensive castle. Woo! You know, like, a defensive castle on the hill. Another castle on the hill. There's so many hills that could be castled. These two just don't care about that. And so I'm a bit worried for the Fat Dragon right now because his Cav Archers are going to be quite weak for the next couple minutes. And oh, they repath! That is a classic Age of Empires thing. This is not just a DE thing with Cav Archers and in the past galleys where you click them and the people in the front want to go to the back. I don't know why that's a thing. But it has been a thing for years. And, you just can't make this up. You just can't make this up. Anyways, he's regrouping to his big ball of Cav Archers. This is before some big upgrades come in. He's going to get Bracer. With Bracer and with the hill, he's going to have confidence. But then again, these are Frank Cavalier. Frank Cavalier should trade pretty well here, especially when the Cav Archers can't hit and run. In the end, Vivi, I think, loses enough there where he's got to be worried. And, oh my god, what is happening? I can't tell if that's pathing or clicking or what that is. But for the first time in this game, we're going to have a castle that actually completes. And now, you look at the population, it's 140 versus 160. It is Vivi with additional villagers, but BadBoy has all 5 relics, ladies and gentlemen. All 5. If this game goes on much longer, I'd say if it gets to about an hour, which we're close. I mean, Vivi's taking a lot of gold on this side. I think that Vivi could be out of gold, and if you're out of gold against Franks, while Franks are not the most... It's not like they can just spam Paladins all game with 5 relics. That is something to consider, but I think Franks with throwing Axemen could be very strong at some stage, and good fight for BadBoy on the hill. This is before Halberdier comes in. Like the Pikemen are barely even noticed there. They're merely a distraction, but that's about it. And oh man, I think BadBoy is going to take this game. He is going to take this game, isn't he? Oh my goodness, he's got this gold over here. Let's look at BadBoy's scouting right now. Let's see how he's going to plan out late game. You're actually kidding me. What the... Okay, look at what just happened. So you look at Vivi's scouting. He sees a lot of the map. He was on this gold. He pulled the villagers that were mining this neutral gold around. And he's going to drop a castle right here. But this is, I think, a castle that Vivi's placing because he knows he's falling behind, personally. He knows he doesn't have a single relic. He knows he could be in a little bit of a rough spot. Don't ask me why he wants to build it with just 6 villagers as opposed to all of them, as he's taking the neutral stone, too. And BadBoy still doesn't even have... he still doesn't have a castle there. All these villagers have gold in their hands. A lot of them are going to go down. And BadBoy's going to have to deal with that. Now, here's the deal. If he deals with this, he could also deal with the castle. So he's probably looking at this part of his screen right now. And he should be able to go in there and deal with that castle. But it might be a little too late. Another thing is it does give Vivi a little opportunity to try and raid. I'd like to see him make stables on the left side. And kind of like BadBoy's doing right now. You see how he's spamming right to that TC with the Cavalier? Vivi's not reacting to that. And I'd like to see some raids from Vivi as well. Because if he does not raid in this game, I think at this point, as he's just now getting Halberdier, it's going to be really awkward for him. That said, Vivi has the population lead. So, I mean, I can't... He's also getting murder holes. Can't really say that maybe he couldn't do this with trash units. I mean, the way that this game is played out, these guys are completely open. Here's some Cavalier running in. Actually, Vivi's running out of wood in the back right now. Here you've got Cavalier splitting up. Really liking how BadBoy is splitting up his units like that. And Fat Dragon is hungry for more gold. So he's just going to take this gold. And BadBoy selling food and whatnot. But BadBoy about to go in with the Cavalier. Now, at a certain point, I mean, the Halberdiers might not be the strongest for Huns. But they're still pointy boys, right? You're still trading against gold units. At what point do the Halberdiers really seem to be strong? And does BadBoy need something else? This is the problem with the Franks. They don't have great skirmishers. And if you're not making these units, you're normally making Axemen. And Axemen are actually pretty bad against Cav Archers. Look at this. Fat Dragon running through. Actually doing a great job of controlling the game despite everything that's happening right now. Got some boys in chat. Like to see it, chat. Thank you. Yeah, you see what I mean, though. The Halberdiers, they do still get wrecked by the Cavalier, but many of these Cavaliers have been in other engagements. So they're kind of weak. Huh. I mean, it's all down to food and wood eco for Vivi. And pressure. Look at the raids. The raid here. Here, he's forcing a reaction. Here, he's still mining the gold. So I think that gets Treb down. What a way to start a series. And I'm looking at the base layout on the left with the defensive castles. I think that Vivi could raid BadBoy to death. If he just goes Hussars, and he's actually adding Tarkans out of this castle so he can try and take out the Treb in a moment. Look at this, sending Light Cav over. Yeah, I think. I mean, there's 17 Cavalier on the field, but they're not forcing any fights. The eco's still kind of wide open on this left side for BadBoy. He does not have defensive castles, even though I think he should have placed them. Basically, it comes down to if Vivi can hold on. And Vivi uses the Tarkans. And he can take out that Trebuchet. That was sick. You don't see this unit too frequently. It's good against buildings. Occasionally, you see it against archers, but a bit more situational. Anyways, Cavalier's still in the back here. But at this point, Vivi's been expanding. And look at him go. He runs back to his castle. You guys don't like it when I make civilization jokes? Really? Are you new here? Because frankly, I find it disgusting that you're so rude to me. Vivi, even with some confidence here. Cav Archers and Halberdiers. Maybe just gonna mass a few Trebs and start to push this area of the eco. I mean, BadBoy's got some skirms out now. It's skirms, in theory, very good against Cav Archers and Halbs, right? The issue is, against Huns, they're gonna mix in Hussar or Light Cav. Still see Cavalier getting kills here. This is just ridiculous. After 2 more villagers die, which we'll actually see on our screens right now. Yeah, at this point, 200 villagers have died in this game. That is nuts. 200 villagers have died in this game. And now you're going to see BadBoy hold. He's repairing his monastery. I think with the amount of skirms he's got, he can take some good kills with the Cav Archers. And with 46 on food, maybe could get some Cavalier in here. Maybe could get some Light Cav in here. I mean, the Tarkans are actually paying off. Tarkans are actually doing a good job against the skirmishers, too. Though you might want to take out the Treb. Who even knows? It's so funny to me how he's trebbing down the monastery, knowing that the enemy has the relics in there. He's like, give them. Give them to me. Look at these Cav Archers here. They found a really good spot. The Vil count's pretty even. There honestly is not much gold left on the map right now. I think the only spot where there's gold is over here. And that's 77 gold. And BadBoy did lose the Trebuchet. BadBoy still has the 5 relics, and that gives you a trickle of gold. But look how exposed... Oh, no, there's gold here. I lied. Sorry. Forgot about this gold. That's such a big deal, that castle. I cannot believe that the castle went up and stayed up. These are heavy Cav Archers right now, and you can see how weak the Frank skirmishers are. And the Fat Dragon's added a few stables here. Unstables do work a bit faster. He doesn't have the resources to research Hussar, but he's trying to get some light cav here in the mix. The thing is, though, he doesn't really have that many calf archers. And now the Treb's gone down. But population-wise, and just with the way that Vivi's been able to raid and whatnot, it actually feels like Vivi, without any relics, could maybe do this. What? BadBoy, stop doing this! Make a defensive castle, for the love of God! Oh, he's doing both. Okay, that's fine. Well, this one's actually right underneath enemy trebuchet, which is a little concerning. BadBoy doesn't have military, people. BadBoy does not have military. This castle is going to be the third doubt castle of the game. And this castle here, it goes up, but Vivi's just going to go to another wood line. The raids, not happening anymore at Vivi's base. He's completely fine. He's got the mass because of the cheap cav archers and the enemy gold he used to pay for it. And I think that's a pause. I don't think that's a GG. But that could easily be an unpause into GG here in a second. It's got to be an in-game pause. Let me actually check the game itself. If Vivi's paused. Okay, so Vivi has paused the game right now. What a crazy way to start off the set. Welcome in, everybody. It's probably not going to get crazier than this on Arabia and the other deciders. I'll tell you that much. It has not been the cleanest game. All right, Vivi's done with his smoke break. And here he comes. 70 on food for Vivi. Who needs relics when you can just spam light cav and the enemy doesn't have help? The enemy doesn't have walls? This game is over. This game is absolutely over. A back and forth one. A messy one. But Vivi showing how good he is if you don't kill him off. Yeah, I think better players would probably have transitioned to imp a little bit better here. And then maybe he would be punished for not having the relics. And castle like this might not go up. But Fat Dragon is just... He's insanely good at staying alive in games. 76 on food right now. And yeah, light cav spam could kill BadBoy. BadBoy's at 90 pop. He doesn't have the relics anymore. BadBoy's got to accept that this game is over here in a second. It's game one in possibly like the biggest moment of his tournament career for BadBoy. BadBoy's never made it. I mean, he's competed in some events, right? But in terms of hidden cups, I don't even think he tried to play in the qualifiers of previous ones. And he's a guy who wasn't even favored to make it into this best of 7 decider. So, I mean, I agree with maybe playing on a little bit here. But at this point, BadBoy... At this point, the game's over. I wonder if maybe... I mean, I hope there's no... Okay, there's the GG. I wonder if maybe there's a slight chance that, like, someone was dropping there when they paused. Like, maybe they were lagging. It almost looks like maybe BadBoy had dropped at that point. I don't know. I'll find out. But either way, the game was over. And Fat Dragon gets the first win. How often do you see that, guys? Where someone gets 5 relics and loses the game. That's crazy. And also 3 denied castles in the game. Maybe more than that. That was very unique. Thank you for the GGs in chat. Look at this KD. What a ridiculous game. The Fat Dragon with more kills in that game. And, just looking through and seeing how this played out. This is also crazy to me. Vivi actually had less gold and less food, but everything's also less expensive for him. Those knights, those cavalier, the scorpions, and the monks. I mean, BadBoy had a lot of gold units out there, and just wasn't enough. 97% of the map explored. 91% of the map explored for Fat Dragon. And look at that timeline, man. There was just like fight after fight after fight after fight after fight in that game. Okay. DNLNN says, is there relic victory? Because I was spectating that game and the pop-up of relic victory win came up. Really? No, there's no relic victory. If it popped up, they probably just forgot the settings. Sometimes they have it on Conquest or Standard and it's just a mistake there. So, I don't know if I believe that because they should have Conquest. But either way, it wouldn't make a difference. Players would have to, like, find some way to fix that. According to the admins, that you're fibbing. They messed up, yes? Oh, they did? Okay, fair enough. Cool. Wonderful. Yeah, it would have been perfect time for the Huns Unique Tech, exactly. Seriously. DN, yeah, no worries. Good question, I suppose, if you're spectating the game yourself. Anyways, scores 1-0. And that was a really weird way to start the series, man, I have to say. Game number 2 is going to be coming up. And if you look at BadBoy, BadBoy's got cross, islands, and slopes to go for. And just responding to a message behind the scenes here. All right. This is how I see it. I think that if you look at these maps, the closer it is to Arabia, the better Vivi's going to be. If you've got a map like Hideout, I prefer BadBoy. Map like Islands, I prefer BadBoy. Map like Cross, I'm not really sure, to be honest. But it's kind of how I'm going with it, with my logic here. But in that particular game, it was very even, and I felt like both players almost did a lot to throw winning positions with those castles. Yeah, so the civs back and forth on each side. Yes, with the civ draft, you can only pick the civilizations you have picked, and you cannot pick civs that have already been picked. In this case, Vivi chose Huns, which is why there's a crown there. Won with Huns, and then BadBoy lost with the Franks. I think I have to see what map is coming up next. But my guess is it's probably going to be Cross. If it is Cross, Japanese probably the go-to here for the Fat Dragon. The only civ that really fits. Huns actually would have been wonderful there. But he just won with Huns, so he doesn't have Huns available. And then maybe, I don't know, Byzantines we've seen a lot of on Cross. They actually do not have great cross civilizations. I think if we're going for islands, it probably would be Vikings. Maybe even Mongols for Vivi, but I'd say probably Vikings. And then BadBoy is, BadBoy's got Portuguese available. That could be strong. Italian's also strong on water too. So, Zaga, BadBoy is from Vietnam. One of many good Vietnamese players. Of course, we had ACCM and Daniel playing yesterday. ACCM being from Vietnam. We have backed also playing from Vietnam. So many good Vietnamese Chinese players. All right. Yogurt says, watching this while doing my work, health, and safety training. If all the games are this interesting, I hope there are no accidents in the workplace. That'd be funny. You have like this big mistake at work. And you're like, here, let me explain. I was watching this really good Age of Empires game when I was supposed to be paying attention to the training. Trust me, it's worth it. Sorry, buddy. Sam's the man. I'll look to the schedule as we wait. It looks like they just launched the next game, though. This is the schedule for the day. I feel like the sets just get better and better and better today. But most of the sets we've had in the deciders have gone to 7 games. Do not remember that. Or remember that. Do not forget that. Sorry. Vivi versus BadBoy to start it off, of course. Nika versus Slicks after. Then Slam versus Vinchester to end it all. And okay, let's see if we can hop in here to the next game. That will also tell me what maps they want to go for. And my assumption is we're going to see Cross because that was the first home map pick, but it's a little weird. When there's only 7 maps in the qualifier, it's hard to say that that's really their favorite. It will be Cross, though, and BadBoy's going to go Persians, and Fat Dragon will go Japanese. So, okay, these are civs we've seen on this map before. I honestly feel as though... Well, I guess it's tough to know where to use your civs. But, like, Huns feels like the best cross civilization right now. Would you guys agree? Like, I don't know, man. In the mid-game, Huns are just so dominant. But then again, we saw on Arabia, too. You guys still think Japanese are the best, really? I mean, it depends. It depends. I said yesterday when casting with Hera, like... Japanese and I think I said yesterday that I thought Japanese were better, but it just comes down to the early bonuses. But if you can't get ahead, then it could be problematic. The other thing you got to think about is like Lithuanians is on there too. There's a lot of civs in the conversation, but it also comes down to where you want to use all the civs. That's what's tricky about a draft scenario. So Lithuanians is an early pick. Lithuanians would be sick on this map. There's extra relics and all that, but still... You might want to use Lithuanians in another position. What I'm really surprised at is that the Fat Dragon didn't even pick Magyard here. He didn't pick Magyars at all in the draft. And he did that in rounds 1 and round 2. Magyars on slopes. So I think he might go Mongols there today. Mongols or Indians. I mean, you got to think, if Vivi's strategy is a little questionable, there's got to be a Mr. Yo in his ear. Like, hey, this is what I would do on this map. This is what you should do on this map. And maybe Vivi trusting him. All right, they swapped the colors on us. It's not the Hidden Cup, but it's the Swap Color Cup. Sorry about that, but again, game number 2 in the Hidden Cup 4 decider. Winner moves on to the main event of Hidden Cup 4. And now in the blue, we have BadBoy. This is going to be really confusing. Hopefully they don't switch every game. And then in the red, we have the Fat Dragon. Fat Dragon, a.k.a. Vivi. And, for Vivi, he's got a great civilization for the start. Cheaper lumber camps means that you can afford to send villagers to wood and chop that wood and then dock a bit earlier. He's also got a pretty good map, right? Back golds. But I do think the concern for him is just going to be expanding throughout the game. Like, there's all of these resources. In fact, look at these look at the positions, man. They're next door neighbors. They are next door neighbors, and all the stones are forward. And this is perfect because in the previous game, they both failed multiple castles. It's almost as if the AoE gods want more castles to fail. When Fat Dragon starting off the game, he's going to push in some deer for some extra food. I mean, it's not the worst thing to do in the world. But you really do want to get some scouting in. So, yeah, Vivi's got a backstone. That's true. He's got a backstone to work with. There should be a backstone. Yeah, there's a backstone here for BadBoy, too. What's funny about this is, so you get a 4-tile and a 5-tile stone to yourself. 5, 4. And then 5, 4. And then we have a pause right now, but this 5-tile stone is actually a neutral one. What the? There's another stone here, too. There's no stone elsewhere. There's no stone elsewhere. This is where you go for stone. Oh my goodness, man. I mean, whereas there are some neutral golds around, but anyways, not sure. These games are live, so I never know why the pauses are happening. Maybe it's a hotkey issue. Maybe their cat's on the keyboard. Maybe they have a question about the settings and need to ask the admin, but this is the nature of live games. There will be delays. That's a lot of stone, man. That is a lot of stone. I mean, there's still lots of reason to expand on this map just because of the pawns in the corners. And there's also neutral golds, right? You've got like the 2-tile golds here, 2-tile golds over here. Where's the 4th 2-tile? Oh, yeah, it's over here. I mean, there's reasons to go elsewhere, but it's just, it'll be interesting to see how the players play it because I don't think going to stone super early is necessarily meta. It's more about controlling the stones, I think, and we'll see. Yeah, the fight for the hill is going to be the biggest thing, and just fight for control. Like Huns, in the previous game, were able to control all the hills and control the map with military. The Franks just ran out of steam, and here I think Persians, Japanese, we'll see some archers and probably pikemen at some point from Japanese. Persians will probably just try and get knights and siege out. Maybe BadBoy prefers that. Thank you, Dimitri. Says, caught you live, going to give you some more of Bezos' money. Hype for Hidden Cup. Yeah, do you guys like to spend Jeff Bezos' money? I don't know if you knew you could do that. It's actually possible to spend Jeff Bezos' money right now with Twitch Prime. Yeah, that's right. Command says, my name is Jeff. Oh, that's funny, actually. So you're actually, if you pay for a sub, you're actually spending Jeff's money. Appreciate it. Yo, XXD, thank you for the Prime. Specto, thank you. This is cool, man. I can't believe that the sub count is as high as it is, and I also cannot believe the main event prize pool might start. In the main event, it might start at 70K. That's sick. All right, we're back in business now. Okay. A little bit of a weird time for a pause. Like, they don't really have to explain why they've done so. Capture rate is going to lag a little now, but hopefully everything's cool. And now you've got Fat Dragon. And Fat Dragon is going to go forward now after pushing in some extra food. And actually, BadBoy, he's been looking here. He went all the way over here. He went all the way to the pond. And he's coming in and... Oh! Okay, just noticed. He almost pulled a Daniel there. Sorry, Daniel, too soon. I was talking to Daniel last night about his set yesterday. He was in good spirits. But first couple games there, if you were watching, I will spoil one thing. His scout really liked to eat the TC. So BadBoy now knows that Fat Dragon's pretty close. I mean, that is really close. I think that being close together probably favors the Japanese, because the Japanese can afford to go for a barracks because of the cheap lumber camp. Just like all the savings means that they can go for a barracks and man-at-arm opening. Fat Dragon scouting very weirdly right now. Very, very weirdly. Hello? Okay, there we go. I was just curious what the deal was there. Daniel's in chat. What's up, Daniel? Daniel actually told me yesterday, as we're going to see BadBoy wisely wall up this area so he doesn't lose his pawn later, that he thinks that BadBoy could beat Vivi. He said, and he's not the only high-level player to say it. To say that Vivi is not playing as strong nowadays. I think BadBoy could as well. I mean, I had Sito beating BadBoy, and BadBoy came back to win 3-2 there. It was an insane set. So I think especially with the resilience that you need, and we've seen you definitely have to have in these deciders, because these deciders have gone so late. And they've also been so close. I think that maybe the Fat Dragon will tire at some stage. But certainly starting off the series with a win the way he did, he'll be happy. BadBoy looping around. BadBoy, I think, spotted the fact that the scout's over here for Fat Dragon. Yeah, so the scout ran by his dock there. You know, you could do a similar thing if you're Fat Dragon and wall this up if you're worried about losing your pawn, but this wood line is actually quite nice for BadBoy. I can't tell whose base I like more. Because of this wood line, I might honestly like BadBoy's more. Especially the way he's positioned these houses too, right? Some palisade walls, and he can protect his berries. And again, for Vivi, I mean, it's Age of Empires. There's going to be some awkward things. There's going to be some great things, but you've got to make it work. And the best players make good decisions with whatever map that they have and make it look a little bit safer than it otherwise would be. And here you go with BadBoy. I mean, this is just how you need to play the map, right? Get a villager forward, dock the enemy. It's a little fast. He doesn't have the wood for a dock yet. He's going to go feudal, though. And now normally what players will do in Fat Dragon's position is send a fishing ship this way and take a fish on the shoreline. Especially when the players are this close. And oh my god, Vivi's actually going to try this. Now, Vivi didn't scout the walls. So they're both going for the same strategy. But this should not work out for Fat Dragon at all. They're both trying to dock each other's pawns right now. So BadBoy's just going to wait. Vivi sees the walls now, and that's also something the enemy should be able to see. And now Vivi's thinking, well, change of plans. There's no way that's going to happen. And now Vivi also knows there's a scout over here. And look at that. That's good play from Fat Dragon. He just... Wait, no, he can't see it. Sorry, that's a spec thing. So what's happening back there, he cannot see. He just did not go there in time. And I wonder if that fishing ship is going to go fish over here or stay over here. It's actually a little awkward because there's no fish directly next to the shoreline. So if you want to find this, you almost have to scout it. And he checked a moment ago, and he's not checking at the proper time. Fat Dragon will not know about that. Fortunately, though, is Japanese. And Japanese fishing ships are pretty strong. Here you have BadBoy with some good downhill hits before he hits feudal, but still probably needs to leave here. Actually, with these hills... the thing is, you don't want to take your scout to your villager because then you'll show Fat Dragon. So you just got to probably go back to your TC here. BadBoy disagrees with that assessment. And maybe he's going to find a hill and get another hit. And you have Fat Dragon expecting that runs away. I'm a little confused by Vivi's play. A lot of people would open up with a barracks. He's got a lot of wood. And now he's adding the barracks. So I feel like maybe the planning wasn't all that good. This is good, though. You've got a dock up on the left side already for Fat Dragon, so can afford to do that and fish there. Also, I see a villager in the north already. Wow, these are some early docks. Just trying to fish away, right? You look at BadBoy. BadBoy seems pretty intent on one pond for now, and it's going to try and focus here. And poor Vivi thinks, oh yeah, I'm going to deny the docks. Oh, wait a second, he's already got one. He's going to go for two now. And if the production's there, Vivi could just completely lose this pond and fall behind by 5 or 6 in eco. And this is cross for you. Vivi essentially is switching into other pawns before he knew that he would have this one secured. He had the right idea to scout, but you've got to make sure every step of the way that you're good. And look at BadBoy. Check this out. BadBoy's weak scout is over here and now sees the dock. Like, this is how this map should be played. And then Vivi's scout is going to die to the TC. Ooh, man. I mean, in terms of scouting, it will be a little rough now for Fat Dragon to know what's coming. And Japanese fishing ships are strong, but when it's 3-0, the fishing ships are going to go down. And so here you go. You see a villager now for BadBoy. BadBoy's going to try and dock elsewhere. Now, the other thing to remember, as BadBoy probably should focus on taking out the fishing ships, and will do so. The other thing to remember is that there's less fish in each pond than the traditional cross versions or Four Lakes versions. So you do also need to switch into farms a bit earlier in this map. Neither player really doing that. Vivi happy to wall up, but again, the walls have not really saved the pond. And this is going to get to a point soon where BadBoy can just add fishing ships and start to steal some fish here for a food boost. Vivi with a villager here. What? It's the offensive house rush. What the? And also, it's funny how the house was built behind the wood line. Like, that's a good tower spot. But house behind the wood line's a little weird. I think that Vivi just pulled the villager that had placed his dock and is just running around doing random stuff. BadBoy did not scout the north. He was just protecting his villager here. But for now, I mean, it's not too bad for Vivi. The fishing ships are really getting value on the other side. The concern is long term. If he starts to lose all of his pawns, then what's the deal going to be, right? This is so funny, man. Does BadBoy see that? BadBoy doesn't see that, but is sending a farmer. Okay, so this guy's going to dock the north, I guess. Right? Because you've got a scout going this way. Just happened to be sending a villager close by. And now it's like, wait a second, what? What are you doing here, lady? You're not on our team. Well, if Vivi wanted to keep the enemy from docking the north, this is one way to do it. Just get that villager to attack your own vill. Next level strategies. And now you see a scout coming in for Fat Dragon. And his stable has only produced one scout. But I actually really like that move. Because he knows there's a weak scout out there. So he can take that out. And then that scout's enough to stop any vills. That's a huge move. And BadBoy seemed like he sensed something was up. He didn't want to chase that villager too far. BadBoy on the way to Castle Age. Vivi will be as well. But Vivi, he's fishing a lot, man. He's fishing a lot. Not saying his eco at home won't be fantastic because he has the resources and the time to switch into some farms. But he invested into fishing ships in the south and lost there. Here, he could lose them as well. I mean, honestly, against Persians, he's pretty much lost his pond already. Because he doesn't have production. And when Persians are in Castle Age, and if they get the War Galley upgrade, yeah, this pond is lost. Persian docks have so much HP, it's really hard to combat them and take them off of ponds. Which is what makes them so strong. Here comes this villager. Oh my god, did he... Wait a second. I think this is a misclick, actually. Oh no, he clicked it to the shorefish. That villager has 10 food. Unless I'm wrong. That's really weird how he went over here and then didn't end up docking. So I'm not sure what happened there. But it almost seems like it was a mistake to send the villager all the way back. Either way, there's a lot going on right now. He did add a barracks, BadBoy. And honestly, BadBoy's doing every move correct. If he adds a stable, you just go one stable for early map control with knights. And then you get your War Galley upgrade to clear up the ponds. What? He's got a forward stable. Honestly, forward stable's huge here because he could just break down the palisade walls anyways with his navy. He does need to make sure he doesn't lose a little bit of control here. Alright, yeah, but he's still going to maintain some control here. Vivi's trying to save a dead pond at this point. And Vivi is losing the fishing ships on this side. If Vivi wasn't Japanese, his fishing ships would have gone, down so much faster. So the fact that BadBoys have so much success against Japanese is pretty sick. Good move from Fat Dragon, though. Using the scouts to snipe the villager. Now you see BadBoy scouts still running around. I'm not sure why that's still alive. Vivi getting infantry armor. And I think that means we're going to see some pikemen for him. Gets to the next stage with 12 on food, not a single farming. So that's like... That is a stat that he is not going to like if the fishing ships eventually disappear. And look at BadBoy just verifying. You know, maybe he didn't know that Fat Dragon had docked here. Don't attack it. Don't be like, hey, bro, I'm going to send a villager this way. That's probably just a unit being on attack stand, sadly. But Vivi reacts to that. We'll take out the scout. We'll see if a villager goes that way. But what in the... Okay, this is about to get crazy. So here, we have BadBoy going for forward siege workshop, forward stable, forward monastery. So he wants to go with the siege knight monk play. Here, you have forward siege workshop. We're probably going to see a forward monastery. And we already have a stable. So it's also going to be monk pike, siege, whatever play. So both players are going for forward bases, basically. But I feel like this is better for BadBoy. If you look at his resources, it should be better. And plus, he's Persian, so it's hard to push Persian TCs. Here, Vivi's just added the TCs. So for BadBoy, he's probably like, oh, a target. Wonderful. Here, he can get conversions as well in the fire if he wants to. Actually, the monk is... Oh, yep, monk gets a conversion. That's really good play for BadBoy. A really good play. Maintain control in this pond. And now, somehow, Fat Dragon's going to need to... What the? There was a hole! What a... Oh, man! Like, this series has shown you how many small things can go wrong. I guess he did make a gate, and at one point he had deleted a house so he could get out. And then the enemy just waltzed in here. Like, all the small things you need to constantly do to stay in games and you know, just play to the perfection that we're used to. It's not easy. And these two are showing us that. But it's also, it's BadBoy and Fat Dragon, man. It's expected to be super messy. Here, BadBoy tried to dock and Fat Dragon denied it. So, big moment there. I don't know where these villagers are going right now, but keep in mind that BadBoy does not know about this forward. And Vivi's so preoccupied with defending that he actually is not even using the forward. The houses... This one villager has placed all the houses and that siege workshop in this game. She's still out there. It's the same one. More villagers going out here. I feel like BadBoy's throwing a little bit, honestly. He's in a fine position. He's pushing here. He has 3 out of the 4 ponds. But over the last couple moments, he's let some units into his base. Oh, don't tell me he's going to TC right next to a siege workshop. He doesn't know it's there. Ah! Oh my god! He doesn't know it's there! He doesn't know. Now he knows. What are the freaking odds, man? Oh my goodness. Okay, so here he comes with a TC. I mean, I don't know what you do. Do you make a ram out of the siege workshop? Or do you just leave it there? I mean, this is so awkward, man. And it seems like Vivi on this side is getting out microed a little bit. As he's trying to get conversions. But then again, reacts to it and can actually convert that war galley. And good micro from BadBoy, as BadBoy's now sending the knights over here. He's not happy about this. It's 66 eco versus 61. It just does not... You know what? I'm looking at Vivi now, and it looks like he's booming on 3 TCs. I honestly feel like BadBoy's... He doesn't really have a lot of flow with his eco anymore. Right? If you look, he does not have horse color yet. He's going to be on 3 TCs, but it doesn't feel like he has the farm count. You look at Vivi... He's kind of stabilized here, but he's typical Fat Dragon, right? He's just going to boom. And now he's got the siege... Well, no, the siege workshop is going to go down. But he's got a few monks out there, and maybe he'll go pikeman or something. I don't know. I mean, this push certainly did nothing for BadBoy. Except get a relic. And now he's going to lose that monk. But yeah, and I also think Japanese are very tough for Persians to deal with. If they start to climb back into a game. With monk, pikeman, siege, I mean, Persians are a little one-sided with the knight play. And again, speaking of knights, 2 knights just went down there to a fire ship, but maybe it was worth the distraction because BadBoy's going to dock the north now, finally. But I can't help but feel like... Okay, let me put it to you this way. I can't help but feel like that maybe this just doesn't make sense in Hidden Cup version. Maybe it does against Japanese because Japanese can make fish traps, but the way I'm seeing is there's 100 food left there. But we'll see. I think that players are going to show... Nice job with the demo there. I think players are really going to show how to play this version. I think a lot of people still are not completely used to it. For these players, of course, they have played in round 1 and round 2 of the qualifier. They had to get here, beating some big names. In Vivi's case, he did have one of the easier groups on his side. Actually, who did Vivi face the second time? Who did Vivi face in round 2? I remember who he faced in round 1. Dragonstar. Honestly, Dragonstar played really good against him. Dragonstar got a win off of him. Dragonstar is not an easy opponent. So yeah, maybe I take that back. And here you go. You've got some quick walls from BadBoy. He actually, unfortunately, fails to save those villagers, though. I think, anyways. She's actually going to kill herself here. Watch. She's going to walk. All right, well, she's alive for now. And the fires are going to start coming out there. But I'm starting to think about the front. And you know what happened in the previous game is that someone went for a forward castle. And you know exactly what's going to happen now. This is about to get antsy. Oh, my goodness. Call Nancy, because it's about to get antsy. Here come the villagers. You've got some monks that'll have redemption. Vivi's just lost a monk and a Maganel. The pikeman upgrade's on the way, but it's not in yet. And now these monks could get 3 knight conversions, which could make such a big difference. It looks like most of these monks will get conversions. The Japanese pikemen are fighting. The villagers are coming this way, so BadBoy should know something's up. And Vivi's going to try to place a house, or not a house, sorry, a castle in a spot where there's currently a house, so that will have to be relocated. Now, tower foundation for BadBoy, he's worried about it. He sees the villagers. There's honestly not a great spot to place the castle. What is that castle? What is this set? These players are too crazy for me, man. But if there's military to back this up, that's all that matters. That dragon is going to get that castle up. And if you look at the economy's pretty darn good. And for poor BadBoy, we talked about the stones, right? He never had the recognition to go to stone early. Or at least control the front of his base. Yeah, villagers go down for Vivi. And he's lost so much in this game, actually. He's lost 32 eco. But because it's Vivi, it doesn't matter. He's such a big boomer, it ends up being even. This is so similar to the previous game. In the previous game, Fat Dragon lost so many villagers, and BadBoy just couldn't hold map control anyways. Very typical for the Fat Dragon. This is why he calls himself the Fat Dragon. And now you've got some knights from Fat Dragon hitting the stone miners. And that's a resource that's really important with this map generation. Kind of got some randomness down here. I don't even think either player is paying attention to that too much. But that forward castle is huge. Now, what do you do if you're BadBoy? I mean, you've got the pawns at this point. You do have access to gold and all that. But you're going to start losing the front of your base. And I think Vivi's just going to continue to just drop towers and castles on you. I think, and it's a tough ask, but you've got to go for some type of counterattack on the exposed resources. But it's a tough ask because the enemy will have monks and pikemen out. Honestly, yeah, sell your wood and then go imp. But if you go imp, you won't have a castle for trebs, which really sucks. But I guess he could actually make some of his own pikemen maybe. Protect the stone, mine the stone as he's on his way to imp. Crazy. It's just so cool how unique our high-level player scene is. Because if I were to ask, I don't know if there's any like top 20 players or let's say top 50 around my Twitch chat right now as we see another castle. If I were to ask people about Vivi's playstyle, a lot of people would say that Vivi is sloppy, right? Like, there's a lot of players who make it messy, make it sloppy, and they make it work. And Vivi's always been one of them. I think the reason that Vivi, as that's a conversion on the Maganel with redemption and the Scorpion goes down, wow. The reason Vivi's been able to do so well, I mean, what is this? What the... I don't even know what I'm seeing right now, but the reason he's been able to do so well over the years is because of the messiness of it. The crazy thing, though, is that the play has been cleaned up big time over the last few years, making him not quite as high in people's minds. But my goodness, is he good at seeing a resource, taking map control, and then just picking apart people on those resources. He hit this gold, guys. Funnily enough, I think that house actually gave him vision. You're kidding. The houses gave him vision over those resources. You've got to be joking me. Anyways, the forward house is paid off. And he just knows that he can just starve BadBoy of access to important resources here. And now BadBoy is going to be Imperial Age. But what do you do with Imperial Age here? Like here, this has even been spotted. But let's say you go for chemistry. He's making university. You go for chemistry so you can make bombard cannons. By the time chemistry completes, Fat Dragon will have 2 castles in your face and be an imp and making traps. This game is over. The only reason that the score looks the way it does right now is because BadBoy has a lot on water, and that tends to boost your score a little bit. It is helpful, too. But Fat Dragon with the recognition to take the pawns a bit earlier. It was almost like BadBoy was spending so much time focusing on the pawns, and it was really just mine stone. It's not like the stones weren't exposed on this side for Fat Dragon either. My goodness, man. Fat Dragon. He's showing why he's in that conversation. He's showing why so many people in chat said that the fat pig here, Fat Dragon, was going to win. He's been both, by the way. He's got some crazy names over the years. A lot of you guys missed those days, but in the Voobly days, people would have like 20 different accounts. Well, certain people, anyways. Vivi especially, or he would change his name a lot. So he had like Fat Dragon, Fat Pig, and then he'd have a lot of jokes that are not allowed on a PG stream, but since it's not in English, I can say the joke. I can say the name. So big DL, really big DL, 5 centimeter DL, lots of DLs. But yes, those were the old days with Vivi. We'll just say so big depends on this stream. But yeah, like this guy's just, he's kind of a meme lord. And it's funny, man. It's funny to see him play and see him talk and see him chat. I'm sure if he makes it into the main event, I'll be happy to be back. He actually recorded voice recording for me before Hidden Cup 2. And I, of course, did not understand any of it, but I got the translation. And basically it was like, is my #1 goal to kill the Viper? Thank you to all my fans. I will do it for you. And then in that Hidden Cup, if I'm not mistaken, he actually lost 3-0 to Viper. Poor Vivi, but man, Fat Dragon looking good here. And I guess BadBoy's gonna go for hand cannons right now. So you've got 6 hand cannons, but my point was, even though you've got Persian TCs to keep you alive, even though you can make a bombard cannon or 2, it's just a rough spot to be in, man. Everything's just gonna get trebbed down. As he tried to expand to the left, Fat Dragon just dropped another castle here. I wouldn't say Fat Dragon's economy is perfect, but 130 villagers is no joke. Plenty on every resource. And I just don't see how BadBoy can bring this back. And he really had a good opening to Castle, just like game number 2. Look, oh my god, that monk. You're kidding me, Vivi. You already have a relic at home. Do you really need to take this risk? Oh! Wait a second. He noticed it. He noticed it. He's going to get this. All right, that's why you make more than 1 monk. He's gonna bring that in eventually, I'm sure. Yep, there you go. But you see how he's paying attention. It's so messy. He's paying attention to everything. Actually getting a ton of monk upgrades right now. All right. But expanding that economy, and I saw a few samurai. I think really what he needs right now is anything but infantry. I think he needs to switch into ranged units, and yeah, he's doing it. He's gonna get arbalest. And you already see crossbowmen attacking these buildings, so I think as the castle actually, oh man. Did he just get brazier or something and it gave the castle extra range at the worst possible time for BadBoy? I'm not sure. It's a really tough spot for Persians to be in because now you're going to see that arbalest is the choice and you're going to try and switch into skirmishers, but Persian skirmishers are pretty bad. And so honestly, Japanese could just go for their own skirmishers to match that if they needed to. I think this is near the end for BadBoy in game number 2, and it has not been... It's not like the games haven't been close, right? The games have been very close. He probably sees the score, and scores deceiving. Plus, it's probably his biggest tournament moment. Vivi's going to use the monks to convert the bombard cannon. Converts the bombard cannon. The arbalest will take out the hand cannons. And there's another bombard cannon here. If he can shoot that right now, that'd be sick. And no, it doesn't matter. Game over. Fat Dragon up 2-0. Now I am hesitant to even allow myself to feel like Fat Dragon's going to win this series now. Because if you've seen the other best of 7 deciders, there have been multiple best of 7 deciders where someone would go up 2-0, and then it would end up going to the 7th game later on. So BadBoy showed in the round 2. He went down 2 games. He then won 3 straight to win a best of 5. He showed that it is possible for him to turn things around. And I think even though it's frustrating that the games have been close and he hasn't won, he's also shown that he can get leads over Vivi. He's done so in game 1 and game 2. He's just got to capitalize on those leads. And that's really been the issue. And in this particular game, it was perfect for Vivi. He likes to drop his castles. He went to stone. I do also think Japanese are better than Persians in the mid game if Persians invest into forward buildings that don't contribute much. And there you go. And you've got French Dev in chat say he honestly made the map work exactly as you would want. He quickly transitioned out of ponds and pushed on land. Yeah, pretty much. At one point, Vivi was trying to contest for every single pond, and then he transitioned into land focus. And BadBoy's issue there was the land focus. You're spot on with that assessment. In fact, you know what? Do you want to co-cast right now? Don't actually say yes, because then I'll feel bad. That was a joke. Okay, there's the resources collected. The KD was something, but the main thing there was the eco and the control that Fat Dragon would have had over the resources. And let's keep moving along here. Game number 3 is going to start in a bit. I imagine it will be, well, it'll be islands or slopes. I have a feeling that if islands comes up, it's going to be the craziest islands game we've seen yet, because both of these guys do not strike me as your traditional water players. All right. I will find out in a bit. Just bring a random person in I don't know to co-cast. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Might have a potato microphone, you know. Might be a rooster in the background. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. The stage is a little big. Maybe like low Elo Legends Cup. That'd be a good idea. Yo, Jabark, thank you for 17. He says, these games are so messy. BadBoy could have won both of them, but Vivi keeps pulling an MBL. Yeah, I mean, Vivi's certainly sloppier than MBL, but I agree that Vivi stays alive. He makes it happen. All right, guys, I'll keep you updated on the next game. Hard for me to speculate without knowing the maps, but I think if it's islands, it'll be Vikings versus Portuguese. That would make sense anyways. If it's slopes, I'm thinking we see Mongols for Vivi, but he might save Mongols for another map. Honestly, wait a second. I think he might go Khmer on slopes. He might knowing Vivi, he might save. Wait a second. No, I don't know. This is why speculating stuff. Because Spanish is probably what Vivi's thinking for hideout. He just had to pick Spanish. He loves Spanish. Historically, we've seen a lot of Khmer. Maybe going Spanish is better against Teutons, though. Okay. Galvo says, T90, I only have one problem with Vivi games. His game can never become the level where he can beat top 5. But BadBoy, if he improves in some places, might be able to beat top 5. I don't really agree with that statement because Vivi has already shown that he can beat top 5. In a best of 5, best of 7 in tournament settings, it's tough for him. But I don't necessarily agree with that statement because it's already happened. I think that Vivi, as a person, has shown over the past couple of years I've known him that he loves to play the game, but he doesn't really train hard. And he's happy where he's at. I don't think that he is like this massive motivation to clean up his act, you know? That's the thing. Like, everyone in the top 5 has really put in a lot of hard work to hone their gameplay and work on their rough edges. All right, next game. Do you think Vivi will avoid Vikings on island since BadBoy has Portuguese? That's a tough matchup, but we have also seen Vikings beat Portuguese because everyone, it's not just about caravels. It's not just about Vitorias. You actually have to play the game, right? So I think to an extent, you've got to have some fear there if you understand the civilization strength. But yeah, maybe. It looks like it will be Portuguese versus Vikings on islands coming up next. This should be a situation or BadBoy has an advantage. Let me just send a message to someone real quick. All right. Trying to sort out something. Cool. All right, we've got islands, and we get to bring up that conversation about which civilization is better on water. I personally feel as though it depends a little bit. I think that Portuguese, if they get to a certain spot in this Civ matchup, are very, very tough for Vikings to beat. You've got kind of a water cube or water triangle out there. You see Italians, Vikings, Portuguese. What's the other one? Italians, Vikings, Portuguese. There's another one. Japanese. What was the other one that was coming to mind here? I think Japanese might have been one, but you're seeing that more on other maps. So it's really just three. Vikings, Italians, and Portuguese, because Japanese are being used on other maps a lot. There are other good water civs, but I don't really consider them quite as strong. So let's just use those three as an example. I think Italians, even though we've seen examples where Portuguese win, I think Italians are slightly better than Portuguese. I think Portuguese are, I wouldn't say slightly, probably a little bit, or significantly stronger, you could argue, against Vikings, maybe. And then Vikings might possibly be better than Italians, maybe. But those three, and it's largely because, specifically with Italians and Portuguese, those civs are not heavily preferred on other maps. Vikings can honestly be good on land maps too, so that's why we won't see Vikings as frequently. But yeah, the thing about Vikings is they lack fire ship, and so they have to go towards like galleys and war galleys, or longboats. And if they do that, the caravel is available for Portuguese, and caravel is great against those. Now, typically to counter caravel, you go fires. It's not possible. And so if it's not possible, then you're kind of screwed here if you're Vikings and you just need to outmass. Someone Vivi is very familiar with, who is playing in the next set, is probably fan favorite too, is Lix. Lix is a Chinese player, and Lix loves to forward. Do you forward here, chat? Do you transport? You could try and overwhelm with galleys. We've seen players just outmass Portuguese and get ahead of them and win. It happens. The win rates aren't landslide victory for Portuguese. I think this is how I would do it. I think that I would go side dock galleys. I don't think I would ever front dock because fire ships would overrun me. But I'd probably dock over here, and then I would go side dock galleys. That, or I would, like side dock, lose water, transport, make archery ranges, that joke. But apart from that, I think that would be the play. I'm a little surprised to see that someone without fire galleys is going to go for a front dock, because if the enemy goes front dock fires is a strong counter to that. So I also don't believe that Fat Dragon's really good on islands. So perhaps he's showing his weakness here. We'll see. He's also a little unfortunate not to have deep fish, but that's a risk you take when you dock on the front, because you know the islands are going to be there. And actually, that one fish is so close, you could have scouted it too. Sorry, guys. I'm going to drink my coffee here. Yesterday, I streamed for 11 hours and 15 minutes, and I got up from my computer once. So, I've got water, I've got coffee, I've got a snack. Oh, BadBoy getting housed. And this has just been a little sloppy for both of them, I have to say, by their standards. And again, their standards, in many ways, they are known for some sloppy games from time to time. Yeah, getting pop cap does set you back economically. Fortunately, actually, that could be quite bad with the feudal age time. Think about it. Like, if they're both pushing deer, both creating villas, both creating fishing ships, getting loom idles your TC, and then getting housed also idles your TC. So Vivi's got a 2 eco lead right now, and that could be all the difference in getting the galley mass out. Don't tell me Vivi's also going to get housed here in a second. Looks like Vivi is also going to get slightly is housed, actually. Oh my god. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. They know their water build orders. It's fine. Both players a little bit pop capped with their docks and with their TCs, but both on the way to feudal age. Difference here, BadBoy did actually get Loom. So if there's a landing, that's good. I've seen some players just skip Loom because it's all about water. And then when it's not, it could be a problem. Does not seem to be a transport here for the Fat Dragon. There's something he could do is maybe side dock now and just pull the fishing ships to the side. I mean, that's fine. I wouldn't like it dock over here, though, because your docks are split up. You kind of want your docks close together when you're massing galleys. That way you can hop out and be like, surprise, as opposed to two weaker attacks. But I think he's going to dock here. Okay, he's made the mining camp. He actually doesn't have the wood for the dock yet, but he should be able to get that soon. It's not like he needs the dock just yet, because he can't produce out of it, so that's fine. He'll produce out of it in 30 seconds. BadBoy with the lead. BadBoy front docking. If BadBoy finds these fishing ships and just finds the docks from Fat Dragon could have a really rough time. Is Italians better versus Vikings here because of fast fire? No, because they have demos. Like, in theory, you just go for longboats and heavy demo. I think Vikings are better against Italians than they are against Portuguese. And I still think that Italians are better than Portuguese in a lot of ways. It's honestly only if it goes late. We've seen so many examples where Portuguese are getting killed off. But the problem is at this level, if you have a civ like Portuguese, it's... At this level, people are really good at delaying taking damage. And so, if you have a civ like Portuguese, the good players are really going to stall it out. And if they can stall it out, sometimes can get a win. So, it's, yeah, it's tough. But I've seen Portuguese lose a lot. I've seen Vikings lose a lot. I've seen Italians lose a lot. It's just how it's gone. And the data, while slightly skewed because qualifiers can feature imbalances amongst players in the early rounds, I think the data does not reflect that any civ is necessarily better than the other. In fact, Italians is always been drafted earlier than something like Portuguese. Right. So here's BadBoy. BadBoy's looking for the fishing ships. Now this is an interesting one. Sniping fishing ships is good, but if you see galleys, I think you have to pounce on it. And actually, galleys switch behind this for BadBoy. Fascinating. He's opening fires. He's going to try and take out the galleys, but yet pounce on the galleys because it's really dangerous against Vikings if they mass these. So he's doing a good job with the fires. And actually, 2 galleys is also fantastic against fishing ships. And BadBoy's opening looking pretty good, but there is a problem for him. And that problem is coming towards his docks. And Fat Dragon's expecting the front dock. And Fat Dragon says, oh, you kill my fish, I kill your fish too. And he can take out the fishing ship and also weaken a galley here. No fletching for either player. But the galleys just do seem to be so quick, man. Galley opening can work well. Players normally side dock so they don't get into trouble early, but when you run around like this, I think you'll be happy that at least you're not taking losses at home and you're massing more galleys. Maybe a demo could come out here for Vivi. He doesn't even care. Like, honestly, it does not even care. He's so fast. One thing that is really... I honestly should make a video about this. But the one thing that is so important on this map is your macro. And we don't look at that ever. It's always the fights. Whereas sometimes on Arabia, we look at the eco and then we look at the fights. Here, it's just fight, fight, fight. And so when you're switching over to mill and when you're switching over to farm, in some cases market to buy and sell resources to get up, there's an art to that. It's all about execution here. And so as we see the micro from BadBoy, that was honestly amazing micro from him, but he's got to be careful with weak ones. Anyways, a beautiful micro, but as you're trying to micro and dance, you've got a macro too. You've got 12 galleys for the Fat Dragon. It's 7 galleys for BadBoy. It's interesting that he opened with fires and then switched into galleys, because in theory, he's always going to be behind in the galley numbers. But now he's just got a micro and he's got a dance. And as someone who's been casting this game and playing this game for so long, I'm so glad this has returned to our meta. It's so much fun to watch. Unfortunately, though, Fat Dragon's just destroying. It's not really that close. Fat Dragon's just pouncing for the most part. We're trying to survive here. Gets a pick off. And yeah, maybe this is a little too close for comfort now if you're Vivi. Again, imagine having to do your eco behind this. TC idle time for Fat Dragon is 18 seconds throughout the whole game. So he's been keeping that TC working the entire time. Yeah, really glad to see the galley dancing return to our meta. And I'm curious now about the food counts. Remember, Vikings do get free wheelbarrows, so their eco on land benefits from that. I don't think a wheelbarrow would really affect the fishing ships too much. Let's put a wheelbarrow onto the fishing ship, guys. Loom for Vivi. Interesting. Is he expecting a landing, maybe? Getting a market. I think he might sell a stone in a second. Let's see. That's a decision that some players will make to go up to Castle Age faster. Yep, there. Sold all of his stone. Now, look, there's probably a market going up over here soon. It's going to come right when he gets the wood, I bet. And for BadBoy, he's simply been outplayed. He has simply been outplayed. Vikings going front dock, which in theory should be poor because they lack fire ships. And yet Vivi doing a good job, and he clicks up here. So, again, I just don't... Portuguese are strong in mid imp, or if they're in Castle Age in this situation with caravels. Here, Vivi's just had the production. He's had a stronger KD, and he's had stronger eco. And honestly, the eco balance for BadBoy is he just used the market. Probably could and should have been better. Can he hold on? Can he hold on? Because if it's caravels mixed in with his own war galleys, could be pretty sick. He's got 4 docks on the front. I think BadBoy in this situation, even though there's a risk it could look really bad, I think he should honestly just dance and try and get pickoffs. Just try and out micro Vivi. Because Vikings are so good at massing these. Let's see. Yeah, Vivi will just camp his docks and micro back, but Vivi gets a pickoff. That's the problem with what I just said, right? You're going in with fewer numbers, and then you don't get a reward for that, and then suddenly you're further behind. Now Vivi grows in confidence. Now Vivi's going to chase, and now you're like, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, no. Well, Vivi's patrolling an awful lot. Oh, man, that was a beautiful runner, though. Did you see that? Okay, BadBoy. It's like with the numbers, Vivi can just sit here and not micro too much, which is kind of funny. But you do have to be careful. He just continues to patrol these units in, which means he's going to run in straight like that, and it gives BadBoy a chance to dodge and hit. But there's so many bolts. All this pollution in our ocean. And I'm not, like, Vivi's micro hasn't been top tier, but it's been better than BadBoy, and the big thing for Vivi, as always, is his macro. And now upgrades are on the way. BadBoy getting whatever pickoffs he can, but if you look at the HP on these, both of them have some weak ones. Fat Dragon has them surrounded. Fat Dragon now has Bodkin. Fat Dragon will now have War Galley, and it is 18 military against 5. Said it yesterday with one of the players, like, certain players were so used to seeing the top 5, top 8 execute. And so some of the names out there who might not quite be that high, you look at them and you think, honestly, they're not that good. And then suddenly, in a qualifier like this, you're reminded why certain players are always making it to these events. Because the level is still insanely high compared to others. And BadBoy is just, he's drafted well, picking Portuguese. But he's just getting outplayed here and outmassed. And I think it's also a great logic to sell your stone in Vivi's situation to get up to faster Castle Age, because you know how dangerous Portuguese can be if you let them live. So he's going for the kill here. And here come those caravels. Now, if any civ was going to be able to bring this back, it would be Portuguese. So you have to take this seriously if you're Fat Dragon. Caravels in numbers, pretty good against the galleys in numbers, but Caravel's not really being in numbers right now. Like, this is also a mistake. Like, he just popped out with his war galley. Maybe he has a lot of faith in the Caravels, but I think he should be more patient than this. I think he's popping out too early. Look how weak some of these are. It's not like he's doing that much damage with these Caravel shots. I guess he's going to take out 2. Over here, he's able to get the back area. I mean, did he take out the fishing ships? That could be pretty good. Only a few farms here for the food eco for Vivi. Vivi's going to loop around, and uh-oh. Good luck finishing that TC. Well, the TC should finish, I guess, but good luck taking that gold comfortably. The other gold also could be range, but of course Vivi doesn't know it's there. And now, okay, here come the caravels. Now for Vivi, it's possibly a mistake that he went to the back area with some of his units. Because look at this. He's got a bunch over here. He could have had them here on the docks. You cannot underestimate the Portuguese. Bad Boy's docks still are on good HP. So if he can get production of caravels, which is going to be tough without the gold. But if you can get production of caravels and then maybe have 4 or 5 hop out of the docks with these, it could be strong. But I don't think he has confidence in that. He's actually making a demo right now. Just hoping to get a big demo shot. And if you're making demos against the... if you're making demos in this situation, that's a sign that you don't have confidence that you can finish it off. Only 4 caravels. And I don't think Vivi really... Oh, big demo. But I don't think Vivi really avails about that at all. Like, here he goes. A little fortunate, of course, with the gold positions. If he could see this, could range some of it. I guess this gold is already coming in anyways. It's the same thing over here, right? Whoever's water control can range the gold. It's just, you gotta play the game. Just win. And docks are going down. And what do you think, chat? Is this doable for Bad Boy? Can Bad Boy actually do this now? A little sloppy from Vivi, not reacting. What? Apologize for sounding salty, but people on AoE Zone said the Portuguese are the best water civ and that we should remove them from the game. That's what I read. I thought that caravels just kill everything. Damn it. I'm so confused. I've got to really learn the game, I guess. But the truth is, civs aside, Fat Dragon has just been outplaying Bad Boy today. Bad Boy, he's losing on home maps. And he got leads in game 1 and 2. And he wasn't able to execute. If he was able to execute in one of those games, losing here wouldn't be a big deal. But the fact that the score is 2-0 and he's getting stomped is a massive deal. I don't think that Bad Boy has that much in him to be able to ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. Not when Vivi's this strong. Vivi was the 3rd seed for a reason. He played in most Hidden Cups for a reason. And he's looking to get back to Hidden Cup. And I can't wait to hear what he has to say about it. Of course, if he wins, he doesn't really speak English. So it's going to be impossible for me to do an interview live with him. But maybe I could do like a Steam message interview. That would actually be really funny. Or just do a typing interview with Vivi. I don't think that Vivi needs to transport. It's something that someone has just brought up. I don't think it's going to hurt. Okay, I was about to say, are you kidding me? But he's actually just transporting to get the relic on the map, which is really smart. He's not transporting any units. I don't think that he needs to transport. If you're going to transport here, you could maybe just transport knights over the pressure. But realistically, I think you need to go for the kill early imp. And something we've seen is... win water, macro, so at eco, which he's doing, and he's going to go imp. Go imperial. You drop a castle either in the middle, or you drop a castle on your own island. And then you can transport trebuchets over, and just protect the trebs with your water. You don't need to transport a castle. You don't even need to make buildings there. If you have trebs here, everything starts going down. And against Portuguese, I've seen so many players, like, they don't switch into cannon galleons. They don't transport trebs. What they do is they transport and they drop a castle here. And then the enemy can see the castles going up. And so the enemy can just start trebbing that down before it finishes. And Bad Boy, he realizes that this is just too hard for him. And Fat Dragon showing his quality here today. Front docking with Vikings against Portuguese. Making it work. Sick play from Vivi. He goes up 3-0. And so many people were right. People were saying 4-0. Well, they're not right yet, I suppose. But certainly looking good for the Fat Dragon to start off the day. All right, guys. One more game for Vivi. Wait, what is that? What is that scoreboard? Why does it say Fat Vivi? That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. Overlay guy, let's go back to Vivi. It's not... That's mean. Fat Dragon's fine, but that just got too real. Anyways, score 3-0. And curious now what the strategy is going to be for Bad Boy. Actually, this is also... in most tournaments, this would be quite good for Vivi because he'd be hiding how he'd want to play his future maps. I suppose if he wins the next game, though, It's not as if we're going to know who Vivi is in the main event of Hidden Cup. Actually, I take that back. Just have to look and see who picks Spanish, and then we know it's Vivi. Like, that was a lie. In fact, if you really wanted to fake like you were Vivi against someone in Hidden Cup, you just have to pick Spanish around like 7th or 8th on your draft. That would probably spoil it. Anywho, the next game will be slopes, I can tell you that much. I'm wondering what Civ we'll see for Vivi here. I think Indians make sense. I mean, Indians we've seen a lot on this map, and Vivi loves to go for scouts. We have seen Britons picked on this map by quite a few players. And Britons are... I mean, Britons are also good on other maps. Like, Gold Rush could be strong. Hideout could be strong. I don't know about Bay. Honestly, we saw Britons on Bay, too. Good civs are going to be used in various spots. But I think here, kind of have to pre-plan if you're BadBoy. So, let's say you win slopes. You're going to want Teutons for hideout, so you don't use that. You're going to use maybe Byzantines for Bay. Berbers for Gold Rush. So yeah, I'd say you could go for Britons here, no problem. Or you maybe go Italians here and go Britons on Gold Rush. I don't know. But if you're thinking ahead, he might just be thinking he wants a win at this point because he doesn't have a lot of confidence. But you should try and go for the whole series win still. Petition to change the names to Bad Dragon and Fat Boy. Well, I'm only going to do that if the players change their names. So, Willis35, what's up? 46 months. He says, what if he is fat? He's training, man. He's a buff dragon now. Let me see if I can find his Steam image. Hold on 1 second. Vivi. He's online, of course, playing his games. How do I blow this up? I'm telling you, this Fat Dragon lost a lot of weight since I saw his Steam image last. Can't. Hold on, let's see. By the way, if the game starts, admins, let me know in Twitch chat because I'm not paying attention to anything else because this is too important. I don't know if this is other Age of Empires people too, but even though we use Steam nowadays, I have absolutely no clue how to operate Steam, dude. This is so bad. I can't even go to his profile right now. Oh, Robo said it started. Okay, fine. Fine. We'll worry about his selfies later on. Thank you, Robo. Crazy amounts of new subs the last few days. Thank you, chat. Main event prize pool updates with every sub that comes into the stream. About 80 or so away from that being 69. 69, 420 is actually realistic. Keep in mind, like, of course, subs will fluctuate a little bit over the next 10 or so days because some people's subs might expire, so. But yeah, I'm not too surprised to see what the civilizations are for the next game. It is Indians versus Britons for the next game. And kind of what we expected. I think it's a good spot to pick Britons, good spot to pick Indians if the series is going to continue. And here we are. All right. But yeah, if you sub now, or gift a sub now, that sub is still going to be there come the main event, which is on the 18th. So 18th through the 21st. Hope you guys have already marked your calendars. And we have Fat Dragon. They've been switching colors, and I'm sorry, but now Fat Dragon's in the red. They've been doing that all day today. And Fat Dragon is playing as the Indians, whereas BadBoy is playing as the Britons. Now, this is the approach that I expect from BadBoy, and this is the approach I expect from Fat Dragon. Feel as though on slopes makes an awful lot of sense with Indians to contest for the sides. But the thing is, there's high risk, high reward with the sides. Seen players win or lose trying to take these side resources where there's about 950-ish food on each side. So, Indians might need to be a little cautious because it's predictable possibly that they're going to try and utilize that shorefish bonus and go out there. Britons, I think it's situational, right? And it depends on how the game plays out. There might be a moment to take the risk, but I think for the most part, you just wall up at home and you try and get to a lot of archers in this Civ matchup. What do Indians do if Britons get to about 25, 30 crossbowmen? Honestly, what does any Civ do against that in Castle Age? It's just, like someone was mentioning, of course, I've been reading a lot of feedback for the tournament, and people were saying, Britons seem really strong on slopes. Like, if they get to a lot of crossbowmen. Well, yeah, that's Britons, man. They've won Arabia, they've won Bay, they've won Gold Rush. That's just how it goes. So, it's a Civ that has to play safe in this matchup. And for BadBoy, it's a little bit of a shame that it's 3-0 right now for him. But I think that he's always been quite good with fast castle approaches, so might expect that here. Moinmeister, hello. He says, what's your viewer record? Believe it or not, the viewer record on this channel is around 53,000 in Hidden Cup 3 finals. So it's gonna be tough to beat that. And what? Fat Dragon, have mercy! Fat Dragon, have mercy. You can lame on this map. It is allowed. It's allowed on every map. But the boars are always on the back. And now he's going to try and steal the boar. If you have the emotes, let's get some T90 pigs going. Because back in the day, Vivi once lost his pig. And he said, I know pig. And I know pig for BadBoy right now. I guess BadBoy could just steal Vivi's pig, honestly. And you can also see in the fog that your pig's running away. You could also try and loop back around and block this. It's honestly quite risky to lame. I can't remember the last time I've seen a successful lame, to be completely honest with you. I've seen like a sheep or two get stolen, but a boar is... Wait a second. BadBoy's really torn on what to do here. I think he knows that it's over there. Okay. All right. Well, in theory... This is fine for both players then, assuming they can execute here. So, I know pig, but I steal you pig, and BadBoy stealing this boar, and there's not really much Vivi can do about it. Vivi was going to try and get it in a second, but... Hey, honestly, can't you just agree to not steal boars, instead of just having to swap like this? Does the enemy boar always taste better? I guess it's just human nature. You've got 2 boars at your own base, and yet you still feel the need to try and steal from the enemy. BadBoy's got to be careful here. If you go too far away from the boar, it will stop. But I do like... Oh, never mind, to take it back. He's at 25 HP. It's 22 HP for Fat Dragon, so pretty close there. And they're both going for militia. Now, they're both also kind of lacking scouting intel, especially Fat Dragon. Like, look at this. He saw pig. He ran for pig. That's pretty much it. He doesn't have scouting intel. And here he comes. He should know the TC's there. Also what makes laming kind of strong on this map, because you have an idea of where the TC is going to be. So, 2 boars for both at the end of the day. BadBoy lacking scouting, and Vivi just a bit faster with sending the militia forward. It's actually rather funny how this is playing out right now, because you have the militia going out for BadBoy too, and BadBoy loses a villager. BadBoy didn't have loom. And BadBoy deletes the mill, and that hurts BadBoy so much. I actually feel so bad for him. But it's just the decision-making hasn't been here today. Like, he's checked the sides now. He sees the berries, but look at Vivi. Vivi's walling up. Vivi... Well, at least Vivi's getting loom. Does Vivi know about the barracks, though? He doesn't actually know about the barracks. That's interesting. He could get surprised by this and lose some villagers. Let's see. This is his point of view. He sees the scout. Oh, and it's just... And that can be the difference in a game right there. He noticed the scout was moving around. He said, this is a little suspicious. And then just quick wall. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful awareness. And also still harassing over here. Not getting kills, but just forcing idols, you know? And don't tell me he's going to get a kill. Oh! BadBoy loses another villager. No! Oh, man. Wait a second. Revenge time. Okay, good patience from BadBoy, because a lot of people would go in for that villa and lose everything to the TC. Now, Vivi has to delete the mill, and it is not okay on both sides. And now he's just gonna make a new one right now? Really? Can you make... What the... Oh, God. If you're wondering why Drush is meta in 2021, or not always meta, but sometimes meta, this is why. Because the amount of damage you're able to do... Well, what's funny is, it's like, it's a bit easier to wall in his villagers with this mill, and it's 1 tile closer to the TC, so maybe he feels like it's safer. But guys, this is a perfect call for BadBoy. Maybe a little bit late, but if you know the enemy Drush is over here, you should be taking the side resources. And I honestly feel as though Vivi should be doing this side. Like, the second you know what they're doing, you know where they're pressuring, and you're running out of food because you're losing vills and being pushed off berries, I think you should be switching to a side. So it's a good call for both players to do that right now. And also awkward because I think they both lost their scouts. If you look at Fat Dragon's scouting, he has not scouted the side, so he won't have any real clues. BadBoy at least did scout the right side, but he did not scout the left. So this is honestly a really interesting slopes game. Because typically players are going to have their scouts alive. And with their scouts, they're going to be able to, you know, see what's going on and react to that. Not happening here. All right. BadBoy. He's got the gold coming in here. The militia's being super annoying, dude.
Greeting?
These rushes have been anxiety-inducing. Come on, Vivi, just run away. Be more annoying. Ah, okay, whatever. He's microing at home right now. Yeah, microing at home, and BadBoy's got the potential to do more damage with 3 militia, right? So it's better to not lose villagers and fight this off. BadBoy on the way up. Vivi really in a weird position right now. Because, what? Oh, okay. Like, Drush with Indians. I guess I hadn't talked about this yet. As Vivi almost gets the villager. It's not really a meta play. And if you're going to go to feudal age this quickly, I mean, I guess they both might not have the resources to go up to castle age, to be honest. But, see what scouts are able to accomplish. I mean, he's definitely sending villagers forward. Vivi loves his towers. And there are villagers exposed out here. He just has not scouted it yet. Not on berries over here. BadBoy. What does BadBoy follow this up with? Might be in limbo. He might not have the resources to go up. Then again, though, this might save him. That's a lot of food income. As long as the scouts don't go out there. And Vivi's going to run in now. How many times have we seen this in this series? Like, honestly, people. Wall in front of your TC as well. Okay, you've got the scout attacking the farm. And Vivi just attacking vills would be annoying, really. It's not like this is a great moment for him to attack with just one scout. That tower could be really important on the farms, and he knows, I've got to stop the enemy from going up to castle age. What he does not know, though, is that these villagers are over here, and these villagers could save the day for BadBoy. Now, if I have these militia, I kill all these deer from Vivi. Not allow him to eat those. I would go out there, find it, kill the deer. He's looking. He just hasn't found it yet. Archer range and blacksmith for BadBoy. I really think BadBoy, if this happens again, I'm actually going to yell. I think he needs a gate here. This house is not going to be good enough. Maybe he's trying to bait so he can add another house and then a gate or whatever. But it still feels like the scouts can just go whoop right by and the TC's not going to kill that much. Let's see. I mean, Vivi's going to feel the need to do pressure as well, right? So he's going to really want to dive in. But you know what? I think I might. Maybe the confidence won't be there because he just wants to drop a tower. Oh my, what the? Hello? He's distracted, guys. He's distracted and he lost the villager. Big moment for BadBoy there. Because as he was reacting at home, his scouts, they ran out and I swear to God. I'm telling you. I said this, man. It happened. Like 2 out of the 3 games we saw before this. Oh. It's just, I feel like it's avoidable, you know? I feel like it's so avoidable, and it should be quite expected, seeing as it's happened many times, and you know the enemy is not going to be in castle age, and now look at the villagers going down. So much value out of these scouts. Now, for Vivi, he's just got to make sure that he continues to do damage, and as you can see, the scout, it did take some losses, but now you've got a 4th scout around here, and BadBoy. Interesting, though, wants to rush this down. And now the scouts are going to come back over. And now the not BadBoy's day. Not BadBoy's day with the decision making. It's in the end he was able to kill a lot of scouts, but the messiness of it, it feels as though he's not going to be able to do a lot with the faster castle age. I'd love to be proven wrong here. I mean, this villager going to get battered down. Vivi's so annoying with towers, and whoop, right back into the tower. BadBoy arrives to castle age with 3 archers and 1 on wood. Doesn't even have the wood for a lumber camp right now. Awful position to be in. It's one of the worst feelings, too. when you go fast castle and then you can't do anything with it. One of the worst feelings. And I think I know what Vivi's going to do behind this without even looking. I think he's going to go all in feudal. Having watched round 1 and round 2 from Vivi, I bet you any money we're going to see... Yep, another stable. Yep. I think he's going to go all in feudal scouts against this because he realizes that low numbers of crossbows are not going to do a lot against like 6 to 8 scouts with upgrades. And he knows that BadBoy's eco is going to be worse off. So he's just got to hold. As opposed to trying to go Castle Age himself and then getting thrown out. So he's just going to go full scouts now. Taking all the food in the sides too, which is a big deal. He can look at this, and knowing Vivi, he's probably giggling a little bit. He could see that the guy doesn't have a lumber camp there. So, that's pretty bad, right? Oh, man. I've seen BadBoy play better sets, and the level of consistency needed to play the high level is just insane. And you have an off day, that can mean you're not going to make it very far, and this is just the perfect counter from Vivi to exactly what's coming, right? You know the crossbows are going to come forward because you know BadBoy feels the need to do damage. I guess he's going to camp this tower first, which I think is a good play because there are some villagers in there, or just one. So, okay, that's not a bad play. And at home, Vivi's on stone to tower up. Didn't even take his berries yet, and he's getting a lot of farms out. It has a wheelbarrow for farm efficiency. And expect those scouts to probably pounce on the crossbows. Now, BadBoy needs to recognize that this is a possibility. And maybe even know that this is this is what Vivi loves to do. And after seeing these scouts with upgrades, go home. I know you feel the need to do damage, but I actually think you have to wait and master units here. Because running out, Vivi is just going to pounce on that. And you could, in that moment, click the scouts, see they have bloodlines, see they have armor, and say, I wonder why that is. But maybe he's assuming... It's also possible he's assuming that Vivi's on the way to Castle Age, to be fair. Here come the crossbowmen. The scouts might end up coming home, forging on the way. Right, tower was nicely placed, but these are Britain crossbows, after all. With bodkin arrow. I think there's a chance for BadBoy to maybe go for a cheap second TC with Britons. This game is not over. Vivi expecting the pressure, pulling off of the wood line and saving the villagers. Impressive. Now bringing the scouts over. That's such an annoying spot to sit in if you're BadBoy. Never leave that spot. And never mind. Never mind. The house has been deleted. And the crossbows microing here. The scouts should be able to take out every single one. Maybe even a position where you can justify trying to get villager picks, but Vivi is just too good. And say goodbye to the scouts. Look at the control. Look at the eco. And now, you just go Castle Age. Right? You know that they don't have much. And you know that your scouts are going to be enough for now. So now you just go Castle Age. And that's perfect decision after getting ahead with that forward. I said goodbye scouts because the crossbows were dying and they were saying goodbye to the scouts before they died. You guys not understand English? Clearly. Like, if I was about to die, I'd just be like, bye guys, you know? Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Does BadBoy see this? Look at this. Chasing them down. Chasing them down. Okay, we've got a great counterattack here. We've got a crossbowman and a spearman. Will the micro be good enough for BadBoy? He's behind in this series. There's potential for 4 villager kills here. Can he get it? Oh, the micro. The micro from Fat Dragon. Oh, he's out microing ballistics, which is very easy to do when the enemy doesn't have ballistics. Meanwhile, the scouts are in.
Yay.
And the scouts... Well, that's a decent amount of crossbowmen now, actually. The scouts seem to get a villager pick. For now, Vivi's just got to buy some time and I think work his way towards camels. Villager's still surviving. It was a good move from BadBoy to pay attention. And, you know, that TC for Vivi is idle as he's on his way to Castle Age. That's how that works as you're researching the upgrade. And you end up looking at the vill counts here. It almost feels like Vivi should have a bigger vill lead. You know what I mean? Very interesting. I guess he does have wheelbarrow. And he also has solid eco upgrades. So I think he's going to end up being fine. But there's still a chance for BadBoy. Look at this. Second TC. And he's got 15 crossbowmen with Britons. This is no joke. So say what you want about that transition. But that scout play from Vivi, it did also delay him a little bit. Vivi going to go for light cav and chain barding. Again, I think the mindset here is push out with Britons. I actually think it's a mistake. And it's so tough. But I make this mistake so frequently where I push out. Yeah, I think you've got to back away after you see that. You know the enemies in Castle Age. You know they probably have good farming eco. Wait until you have a bigger mass. Good thing about Britons, though, is you can see it and then just run home. So, like, hit and run a little bit, but you don't want to go too far away. And Vivi absolutely loves to control the map with stable units, and so he's doing that, and he's expanding to the other side at the same time. And here he goes. If there's a hole, it could ruin BadBoy's day. And the light cav's still looking for gaps. And now, at this point, Vivi's got to be careful. It wouldn't surprise me if he loops back home, because he's got to know the crossbowmen are going to show up at some point. And just to look at his point of view here, you can see the blue there. Asking questions to BadBoy, though, attacking the walls. That's good work. That's very good work. Got 5 Pierce Armor on these light cav. They're pretty good against crossbows. And this is also good where, I mean, this is just great play overall, right? BadBoy knows that Vivi would probably try and expand. Vivi already has the TC there, though. Here, Vivi's adding a TC. A little dicey against Britons. So he loses 2 villagers. And also losing villagers here. BadBoy's in it. BadBoy is in it. Vivi has too much to react to right now. But now, Fat Dragon is in BadBoy's base. And now BadBoy needs to react. So there's 3 key moments. There's the 2 raids from the crossbows and now the raid from the light cav. And then everyone needs to react properly. I mean, that TC is there, but it's not accomplishing much. And house walls. You do this to MBL in the main event, and MBL becomes the tournament champion. So be careful who you're doing this against in the main event, because the house walls can sometimes make a big difference in the long term. But light cav fortunately gets some Vil picks here. And man, are these light cav strong against crossbows. It's pretty insane. But the crossbows, also, most of them are forward right now. And we have ourselves a game, ladies and gents. Now, reminder of how the series has gone as we see the light cav pounce. Game 1 and Game 2, BadBoy could have easily won. He could have easily won those games. Game 3, probably not. He's going to regret those games, but he is no stranger to comebacks. And Vivi, no stranger to a few throws here or there, right? So let's see what the light cav accomplished now that the crossbowmen are sitting here. The sucky thing is if you run away from this, the tower's going to hit you. Actually, Vivi decides to send the villagers out. So sometimes the reason for that play is so the crossbowmen focus their shots on the villagers. And you might lose an extra villager or 2, but you actually end up with more military remaining. So I think that was intentional from Vivi. It's not too bad. Look at how he's running around now. He's continuing to. Well, he's kind of run out of space to maneuver into. So I guess he's just, at this point, giving up on these guys. What a wacky game, man. Over an hour of villager idle time for both players. And the TC idle time is also insane. And it's honestly possible that Vivi just realized that this TC was cleared out. Because he's just created that villager there. But what's the economy look like? 4 TCs with Indians. Lots of farms and very cheap villagers for Indians. So I think it's fine. And I guess you just continue to go light cav here. Would you guys say Indians are stronger? Not in the map, but in general. Would you say Indians are stronger now or weaker than they were a year ago? Remember, there was recent nerf to them. They lost plate barding armor. They did receive some pierce armor on the light cav. A lot of people saying weaker. Feel like a year ago, though, you couldn't go for the light cav play in this position. And it really is interesting. But yeah, I think overall they're weaker as well. Missing plate barding is a pretty big deal. Like in this situation, in Castle Age, they're almost a little stronger, I guess, against Britons. But in Imp, they drop off a lot harder than they did in the past. If we're talking about the map, there was a lot more fish on the map back then. And it's crazy. Another game where Vivi loses a lot of Vils, but still has a massive Vil lead. Check that out. Pretty even Eco KD. Here come the crossbowmen. There's still berries there. There's still variety of food income if you need it. And I really do think this is possible for BadBoy to win, but he's got to start pushing again. And I think this is where you start to back it up with some, like a castle drop of some kind. Britons can really snowball up the gut. Whereas I think Indians are going to spread out, as we're seeing here with Vivi. He's just got so much eco. BadBoy 2 TCs, 10 on food. 41 on food for Fat Dragon. How? He's just so good with the stable play. Really is insane with it. And it's constantly moving around. And his MO is distract you and annoy you with stable units as he booms. That's exactly what we're seeing here. TC there for BadBoy. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I think that there's probably better ones to place right now. But he needs to keep his army in the same spot with Britain. So he's kind of stuck here right now. Vivi, okay, sees the TC. Look at him just running around all the time. Constant aggression. BadBoy cannot move out whatsoever. I wonder if we'll see guard tower, because you've got 1, 2, 3. Got quite a few towers at home for Fat Dragon. I could definitely see him going for guard tower. I also don't know if it's necessary right now. I mean, you've got Bodkin. There is a point, and that is early imp, where Indians lack plate barding. It's not like a Hussar opening would do good against Arbalest, but I also don't think... BadBoy doesn't seem to be in a strong position right now to really go Imperial Age. And he also isn't too heavy on stone to drop a castle, which hurts for him. 17 light cap, but 40 crossbows with Britons. Surely the crossbows just own. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it's at a point where they're almost one-shotting these light cap. This is a real problem, man. I've seen games where a player with less or weaker economy wins by snowballing the middle, whether that's with knights, castle drops, siege. Another TC over here for Vivi. He's on 5. And there's University. This will be for guard tower defense. And Vivi's going to just guard tower defense and just raid. That's all he's going to do for the next 10 minutes. This is going to be really fun to watch, actually. And honestly, really annoying if you're BadBoy. Because you have this military, and you think, oh, yeah, let's kill everything. But then suddenly you show up, and there's towers everywhere. And then you constantly have the house wall at home. 43 on food for Fat Dragon. Crazy light cap numbers. And here he goes trying to break in. There's a whole... Is that gate a good play here? I can't tell. Instinctually, a lot of players go for gates nowadays, but the gates lack armor if they're not built. So, I feel like this gate... Well, what the... I'm a little concerned right now. But anyways, looking over here, and yeah, guard tower.
Ready.
40 Briton crossbows with ballistics, and you're countered by a tower. That's such a frustrating feeling. But it's also not cheap to get all those towers up. And Vivi, he's got the eco for it. So he figures, I'll just keep him at home. He can never pressure me. And this is just perfect gameplay. Vivi is very good on slopes. That dragon wants to make it back to Hidden Cup 4, or make it back to a Hidden Cup. Excuse me. I think he's going to do it, man. BadBoy, a couple of the moves here definitely looks like he's a little scatterbrained. You know, that can happen, especially when you're down 3 games. It's hard to play your best and hard to feel good. Especially up against Vivi. Like, even just the mentality. Like, oh, God. What's coming next? When's the next group of light caps going to arrive to my base? Oh, no. You know what's coming. Vivi doesn't have to do this, man. In game 1, there were 3 or 4 failed castles by both players. Okay, he's going to... All right, he's not dropping it forward. He's going to drop it here instead. But still, it's like, it's not far away from the enemy. Vivi, you're winning the game. Don't give him an opportunity to do damage, man. Another... In what world is that okay? In what world is that a good castle, man? That's such a... That's not even a doubt castle. That's even worse. That's a Vivi castle. But here, let's zoom in. Let's get the high quality zoomage on the Lord Doubt. There you go. If that doesn't get you all hot and bothered, I don't know what will. But I mean, that might give BadBoy a little bit of hope here, and BadBoy will use the market here and click up to the Imperial Age. And like I said, it is always possible with Britons if you're able to snowball mass. And now Fat Dragon doesn't really have... I mean, a castle here would have been sick because you've got a gold. Castle here or castle here would have been sick. Or even a castle, I don't know, delete a farm or 2 and place it in your base. He's going to try Hussar and maybe skirmishers. I see him getting ballistic. But look, he's back. Vivi's back. Back again. Like have tell a friend, something like that. 30 to 35 with the eco, but that KD's even with Vivi has 115 villagers. He just can't stop. He won't stop. And why should he stop? Imagine being in BadBoy shoes. You have to constantly garrison your TCs. Even if you don't take losses, your eco's idle. You can never push out because of the defense. And then the moment you come home with your crossbows, he runs away. Look at that. You're just like, oh, okay. I'm going to come back in another 30 seconds. Vivi, I think, realizes he's so far ahead that he could probably just win this game with Hussar at this point. I mean, that's probably what he feels like anyways, which is why he ran out here with the castle. He's very confident. A confident Vivi castle. He also has so many vills, he's probably okay with throwing a few away. Not going to make a big difference in this game. Not when you're 60 villagers ahead. Don't think a couple pikemen... Honestly, BadBoy's economy is so bad that pikemen aren't even justifiable at this point. It's like 200 something food and 90 gold for the pikeman upgrade. You do that, you can't get bracer in your crossbows. That's how bad the situation is. Vivi is completely rolling over him. And now since the crossbows have left the middle, he's going to finish this castle. Yeah. So he runs in, says, hey, defend yourself. And then he does, and then he finishes the castle. All right. So blast furnace on the way. Hussar will be on the way, I think. He's got the resources. In 50 seconds, those upgrades will be in, or about a minute, actually. BadBoy barely afford anything. Doesn't have a castle yet, but he does have 46 Britain crossbows. Bracers on the way. Arbalest will be on the way. Ballistic's already in. I think the game plan is just going to be the same thing for Vivi. I think all he's going to do is play defensive castle tower and just raid BadBoy to death until BadBoy runs out of hope. And then for BadBoy, he has to drop a castle here and probably start trebuing this down. Oh man, that was a poor decision there to go that far, but let's see what these Hussars can do. Again, if it was a year ago, Indians would have plate barding. Barding can definitely matter a little bit. We got some other bonuses to work with, though. Hussars, of course, do not cost gold. Funnily enough, technically, elephant archers are the counter. And I think BadBoy would feel a little flexed on, and it might be seen as BM, which equals bad manners. Oh, man. Indians are so strong now, bro. Indians are clearly the best civilization on slopes. Did you see that? They didn't even need to attack those Hussars. And Arbalest just went down. I'm a little sad for BadBoy. He didn't have his day. Clearly, Vivi deserved to go through. And congratulations to Vivi, who moves back to Hidden Cup. And no doubt that he deserves to get there. But I think if you delete your arbs like that, you're probably just frustrated. And I don't know his mentality exactly, but that's probably what it is. Salutes in chat, please. Welcome the Fat Dragon back to Hidden Cup. And salute BadBoy, because remember, BadBoy was able to beat Sato 3-2. And that was something that I didn't expect. He, of course, won his first round games as well. It's been a couple weeks of qualifiers here. He was close, but truthfully, in this best of 7, this is the first one that has been a landslide victory. Fat Dragon will be back. Now, I cannot really interview him because, again, he doesn't speak English well. But I honestly want to interview him on Steam. Hi, Vivi. If he starts responding to me, I'll show it on screen. Oh, he responded. Yes. Go. Congrats. He always talks in caps, so when you talk to Vivi, you guys might not know the rules, but you have to talk with caps lock on, okay? On the win. Are you happy to be in Hidden Cup 4? Question mark, question mark. Can I make this bigger? This is fine, right? This is a pro interview. Perfect. Look at there's his photo, by the way. He's lost a lot of weight, man. He's been working out. Look at that. That's his photo. Vivi, this is a professional interview. Please respond. He's not a fat dragon anymore. He's a swole dragon. Yep, yep. You can't just say hi and leave me hanging like this, man. Oh, he's typing. He's typing. He's typing. Yes, I so happy. Aww. What? Fat Dragon fans are happy too. No caps, so I obviously have to... Basically, you just have to match him. The Vivi counter is to use caps lock when he's using it and remove it when he's not. I am very happy to have you back. Wait, oh, hold on. Ask if he will beat Viper this time. I mean, you never know if he's going to face up against Viper because of random seeding, right? Thank you with you, fans like me. Aw, this is so wholesome. My emotions can't handle it. Do you feel strong? I don't want to say strong now because that implies he wasn't strong before. Do you feel strong? Can you win Viper this year? Question mark? See what he says. Let's see. You know, some people would be, most people would be humble in this spot, even if they thought that they could beat the champ. This will probably be my last question with Vivi, because I don't want to hold him up too much. He's probably got to, you know, queue up for a ranked game or something. We also have another set coming up here. He's typing. I can actually get an actual interview with the translator with Vivi before the main event, which I will do, but I figured, you know, we'd get something here at the conclusion. Have I really spent 101 hours on this game in the past 2 weeks? Woo! Woo! Ah! Whoa! That's a lot of hours. Oh, I never look at that stat. I guess that makes sense. I spent 11 hours on the computer. Actually, it's like 12 and a half yesterday. If you count before and after streams. No, I am noob. I hope Vipe can champion. No, I am noob. I hope Vip can champion. I like Vip. I think he's saying he hopes Viper can win again. Aww. Aww, this is so sweet. This is so sweet. He wants Viper to win again. Viper's his idol. Ah. Oh, man. Find yourself a dragon that loves you like Vivi loves Viper. Oh, how do I respond to that? I can't say "oh," that's weird. Say we will see who will win. Will be fun tournament. Happy for you, Vivi. Congrats. All right. That's the end. That's the conclusion of the Vivi interview. He said many times over the past couple of years that he's very happy to have so many fans. And we did some show matches. I literally told him ahead of time. I was like, hey, if someone steals your board, can you say I know pig? And he was like, I know pig. You know, he cracks him up, I think. So congratulations to the Fat Dragon, who does move on to the main event. And we'll get his response here. And then we're going to move on to Nikov versus Lix in a moment. Nikov versus Lix. A set where... Actually, should I ask Vivi who will win? He says, yes, thank you. I feel Vip will number one. You feel who? Question mark. I think the nice thing for me to say is that he is number one. Vivi number one. Fat Dragon, eat all. Nom 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 nom. I feel like at this point my confidence in him might be slightly insulting. He might feel like I'm just pandering to him, but who will win Nikov versus Licks? Question mark. Hope you guys are enjoying this. This is literally the only interview I could do beyond bringing a translator in here. And we could do that, but Licks will win. Oh, he thinks Licks is going to win. Score? Oh, he thinks his boy. Licks? 4-2 or 4-3? Ah. Nice. Well, I go cast now. Have fun, have fun. You can okay from Vivi. That was sweet. All right. Salute him in chat, even though he's not here. Congratulations to him. He honestly did dominate today. I think that Vivi's going to have to improve in some ways. Is a little rough around the edges. But I think that rough around the edges, the YOLO castle drops, the raiding and booming style, I think that is going to be something that we'll look towards when we're trying to guess who Vivi is in the main event. This is what the hero lineup looks like. Vivi will have one of these names. I won't know who. You guys won't know who. The other players won't know who. They only know their own name. And so yeah, those are the heroes that will be participating in Hidden Cup for March 18th through the 21st. Every single set will be crazy because it's random seeding and we just don't know what is going to happen. But according to Vivi, Viper is number one, and Vivi, who's competing in the tournament, actually wants Viper to win. That was a cute moment right there. That was very, very wholesome. I know they had like a year or so there where they'd play each other in ranked games all the time, and they would banter back and forth. All right.